Bomba Club.
Tall, dark, handsome with a big ting. Imagine having
So,
that like confidence.
How many times do you hear that? Like,
It-
I need someone tall, dark, and handsome.
with a big ting. You gotta add the.
Bro, it's just because recently there was a new season of Too Hot to Handle. Yeah, I watched that. I saw that. It's just every person's answer, like, what's your type, yeah? And they're always like they say the exact same thing every single.
Really?
You know, tall, dark, and handsome. You know, man. This is static character question answer every single time.
Are you feeling good about that? Are you happy about that?
It's just I don't. It's all the same though.
All the
It doesn't leave room for my homies.
Yeah, but like, you're.
It's just like
Yeah, you gotta be charitable.
Yeah.
You gotta give to some guys.
So it's just so. I don't know. It's weird though. For example, like I don't fucking discriminate, but they always have the same. Oh, they always have the same like answer. This is weird.
What's that?
I mean, I don't. Okay, to be fair, I don't really see that in real life though. I'm literally like looking at these people. Like we're talking about like Too Hot to Handle, like all their
I've never watched that.
You probably lose your mind.
Have you guys watched that?
See, I watched it.
I only watch shows when my gal make me.
I mean, that makes sense because it's a lot. It's a lot of sit.
Did your gal make you watch Too Hot to Handle?
She tried actually.
Really? Which season? Bro?
I feel that's the one show where I would like
know.
cut the line. I'm
It was like that one and.
That'd be so. I don't know.
You can,
I feel
you
it's
can
like
watch this with your gay best friend.
it depends. Like, would you
Never
feel
trust them.
insecure like watching Too Hot to Handle with your girlfriend?
I wouldn't feel insecure if I watched it on my own. I just don't really have time. Like if I
Yeah.
wanted to watch YouTube, I don't care. I mean, a TV show, I'd watch it if I fucked with it.
Yeah.
But
I don't think I'd feel insecure. I think it's like, is that like productive to our relationship? Do you know what I mean though? Or
I'd
no,
say
or
it
not?
is. Oh, I feel like
Why?
reality TV is kind of like
Because most people will say, well, why are you being so sensitive about it? And I don't think it's not like a true matter of sensitivity, but it's just why.
no, it depends on the person. Like sometimes it's a really big part of their life, especially these huge TV shows like Friends
Oh, okay.
or like The
Oh my
Office.
God.
Like a lot of
they
the
get
jokes
into,
will
like, the
stem
drama,
from that.
right?
Well, it's not even the drama. It's just that like they'll have jokes, and if you don't relate to them, they'll be like, "Oh, you don't get it."
Yes, but then you add the fact that there's just like a ton of like shirtless men here, and it's like, I mean, like I'm not mad, but like again, like
I guess it's like what are you getting out of it? Like from like a person that like doesn't like watching reality TV. I feel like the first thing they would ask is like, what are you getting out of this? Like Melissa, what are you getting out of this watching this right now?
Yeah, it's not my moral obligation to tell. I learned really quickly.
I agree with that in terms of like if you like the show, yeah, watch it. But I'm saying like
It's like that little it's like try something, if you don't like it, you don't like it type of thing. That's my mindset
right.
with it. Like there's a lot of shows I just don't want to sit through sometimes, but
I'll sit through shows. I mean,
It depends on the
is
show.
what it is.
It really
But
has to be
the
the
point I was making is that with Too Hot to Handle, there's this aspect of like the show where it's like a ton of really attractive people on camera,
yeah.
naked, and even though you might be into the show because of like the storyline and stuff, you can't deny that that's like a big like part of it, underneath the
whole
surface.
thing is like sex.
And so it's not a matter of insecurity. It's a matter of how does that subtly affect our relationship.
Do you think it's universal that people yearn for like more passionate experiences?
In a relationship?
And
Or
well,
just
yes, but also everything else. Like, do you think that's why they watch these shows?
Together?
No, alone.
I think people start watching shows to pass time.
Yeah.
Really?
If you think about the Netflix business model, I think that's probably a big part of the value prop to start. It's not really a matter of adding something particular, but then you get into the competition of shows. But
That's what I was about to say. Like, which shows do you choose to waste the time the most?
Well, yeah, that's a good question in terms of like you had all these choices. Either you're
Just put
gonna
the
watch
water
shows either
drop.
way. It's true. What's that?
Just felt the water drop, and I see one on the Scarlet.
On the Scarlet?
I just see, yeah. Look. No, it's just drizzling a little bit. The weather's not gonna get it. But you can see like it's drizzling a little bit.
Alright, it's no big deal.
Are you sure?
Or
No.
chill.
Okay.
I'm just saying what I want to be the case. Oh shit. Yeah, I feel it now too.
You think
Yeah.
a mist will hurt the?
Can you cover it?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, we can bring out that or whatever. All right.
Mm.
If it's more, then we'll cover it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering. Anyways, we'll continue. But yeah, do you guys think?
But you're right. You were gonna watch shows anyways. You chose this one particularly.
Yeah. So
at the start,
why do you think?
And so it's
Why do you think people watch these these shows?
Reality TV.
Yeah.
reality TV.
I feel it's just like something to like. For example, like I'm talking about like general public. For example, like people just do that to either talk about it, like outside of the thing. Like, oh, you see what so and so did? Oh, that's insane. For example, or like, I don't know. It's like these people are like real people. So it's just something to talk about, really, because I don't know anyone who really like. There's with media, like you either enjoy it or you just like watching like stuff to pass time, or just learn something. So I feel like it's really interesting. Oh, is it drizzle?
No.
Alright.
I'm actually. What I'm thinking is that we should rotate ourselves where the camera's this way.
Oh, the sun's out, bro. Yeah.
Let's just quickly rotate ourselves.
Yeah, because then we'll have better lighting on our faces, look more light skinned. Yo, you just have to do it like this way. Bring it. Wait, whoa. No. Do it like this. Don't.
This will be in frame. This will be in frame.
No, I mean like. Why am I speaking to the mic? Yo, like have the sun come up on an angle from us, like this way, because for one we don't want the sun in our eyes, but also like having the sun on a side angle is like good for our reflection.
Okay. Let me bring my chair over.
What's that, John?
Oh, bring everything else over.
No. Do not move it. Do not move it.
Do not
Move the chairs relative. Then move the chairs closer to it.
No, I'll just pull out the.
Bad idea.
No, like I'll untangle it.
Yeah, you need to be at least angled like this. Because if you have the sun coming at you at an angle, it's a problem.
Okay, bring them like right here.
No, now we're back where we were.
Oh, okay.
No.
It's more this way. 'Cause the sun's coming down this way.
Yeah, so you want.
You effectively want to be.
Which way? Just angle the camera. How it should be.
Like this.
Like that? Okay. Bring the camera here. We'll have that chair in the middle. You sure we shouldn't move all this, bro?
Yes, because you can move the chairs anywhere. You can literally move the chairs anywhere around that.
Oh, okay. Then let's just, yeah.
So if you want to have it less out of frame, yeah, move the chairs.
No, it's not out of frame. My mic is not on.
Okay, but move the chairs up more.
The microphone
Should be so close now.
The microphone's not on. I just gotta untangle it. It's all good. You don't have to hold that. There we go.
Move the chairs together.
What's that?
Move the chairs.
Yeah. You right about all that. Okay, just don't put them online.
hot.
Brixton bullies slide with a body. Manhole Tunya Hadi.
Woody.
Cyru gangsta. John, can you put the camera so that it has our feet, like all of our legs, and then some grass as well. Just angle it.
Brick.
What's that?
I put some car size.
Mid pod movement.
Oh my god, bro.
Modness.
My fucking headphones is boiling already. Damn.
Alright, we out here now.
I know a lot of people that watch. Well, I know a lot of women particularly that watch reality TV, like in the evenings, and I don't know. Maybe they discuss it with their friends, I guess. But
They do.
I mean, I suppose you'd have to ask them what the value is for them. But like for example, I know I used to watch like a lot of Nelk on YouTube, which is like also similar to reality TV.
That's a good point. Like,
And I don't particularly know why I really liked it. I don't necessarily think that I would want to be in that position, but it's just funny, and it's like sort of dramatic. It just like touches the right strings, like it gets the right emotions out. You know, it makes you laugh, it makes you be like, damn. So I think reality TV probably has a way of doing that because it seems more real.
Yeah.
Did you ever like think like you wanted to be a part of that?
Yes, though. Yeah, 100%.
100%.
Me as well.
100%. I think with these reality TV shows, like I think about, for example, like my mom, I think a lot of it is much less so. I think a lot of time it's actually I don't want to be in that, and it's like, thank God that I'm not in that. But you're kind of just like looking at other people's problems, and it makes you feel like your life is better. I've heard a lot of people say that, and I completely cringe when they say that, but yeah, this is their reminder of how good their life is. But I think when it comes to like guy reality TV, it's probably more skewed to how I would rather be doing that.
Yeah. How do you like these things? They grab either the stupidest. I swear, like they grab the stupidest people on earth and put them in like a house every single time. Because there's so many things that like you watch and you're like, bro, this is real, isn't it? So why are you being so stupid right now? So I don't understand. Like that's why I think some of it like it has to be fake. There's just no way.
Oh, dude, it has to be.
Yeah,
Like,
there's
obviously, you know, they know they're on the show. They want to push the emotion.
That's exactly another thing. Like they want to do stuff for the content.
Yeah.
So it's like
That's how they get signed. Some people are just like that naturally, though. Like the big Tate boys.
Yeah.
Oh, Tate was a different level.
Yo, they were.
It was
on,
shock value.
Yeah, but they were on. No, not even that. Like they were on reality TV show like way before.
Oh
the
yes.
30s.
Oh yeah, like
Oh, yeah,
Big
they
Brother
were.
and stuff.
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
so many clips of that. Yeah.
It was sick, man. They did a bunch of reality.
It's just kind of
TV
crazy
shows.
though, but it's just kind of crazy. But I think most people say they wouldn't want that for their life, but they would think it would be cool to just be like plopped into it.
Yeah, exactly. Like
for,
I would,
for a good.
You're
for-
set for life.
It's always
after
the thing
that.
is, what's that?
You're set for life after that, though. That's the thing.
if you're a good guy.
If
If
you're
Okay,
good.
not even from a money standpoint. I'm saying from an experience standpoint. If people can take like a weekend to do something crazy, and then have like not necessarily no consequences, but basically like you can just get plopped into your normal life and you don't have to keep doing that, then people would always take it because you basically have nothing to lose.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's more so a matter of when you have to commit to things to make them play out.
That's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's almost as simple as entertainment though. Like
Yeah.
entertainment is just entertainment. It's just
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
wonder like how many people that like are signed up for these things just bail throughout because this is real life stuff. So I feel like a good like many people just like bail out of.
You think they have the auditions?
Yes, for sure.
For
They definitely, because I think more people probably get cut out by producers than people do bail out. It's all these. It's definitely very very heavy on producer choice.
I feel like as soon as they have the interview, they realize how much of a douchebag they are. So just bring them in.
That's how they know.
That's how they instantly know. They're like, oh, okay, he's gonna be good.
That's kind of similar to us, for example, doing the interview yesterday, where we would act like producers cutting people out.
Yeah.
Pretty ruthlessly when they weren't adding any value to the content.
Yeah.
It's the same in this case.
You guys want to talk about the party? I wasn't really.
That's why I wish Mena would have been here, because then she would have she was the eyes and ears. She probably talked to like 70% of the people there. Mena actually talked to so many people there.
She was actually trying to do a party.
Yeah, Mena talked to so many people there.
Yo, I felt bad. I thought I was like antisocial because like there were so many people, and I was like, man, like before I would really want to introduce myself and get to know some of these people. Like I'd want to be chill with them. But yeah, last night like I even tried, and I was like, bro, I don't even want to, bro.
For one, at 3 a.m. it hit me. That's when it hit me. I'm like, wait a minute. Everybody just left this party, and I spent the whole time like being on this podcast.
Yeah.
Which made me kind of sad. And then this morning I'm like, damn, I actually like this guy Forrest. Like I want to talk to him because he's an MPNE as well.
Yeah.
And then I never did.
He's still here, I think. Or no, maybe he left.
I was thinking if he's still here, I would actually interview him and Dushan tonight. But I'm guessing he probably left.
Yeah, he might have.
But how do you feel about that, John? Because at the same time, I do feel like my social skills were like not really there. Like I don't really know what I would.
I think definitely to some degree I had fear, and that's what I was worried about. I was worried I was just genuinely like antisocial, but man, like I don't know, bro. I just like it's actually been really hard for me to force interest nowadays. Like I just can't. Like I can't force that I'm interested in a conversation, especially if I feel like it's not. Well, no, it depends because like if I feel like like. If I feel like it's not even forced interest. I just have no interest. Like I don't want to know about like the vape that they own or
it's always
like
the same conversation.
That's exactly it. Like I've had those kind of conversations so many times, and that's why I enjoy the podcast a lot more because it's a lot more interesting. And like I learned so much more about Sean in that way, and that's why it was so much more.
Yeah, I really love what Sean came in with.
Yeah, that was so fire. Like
Sean was sick.
Yeah, we like broke into like a really interesting conversation.
I don't think that conversation would have happened off podcast.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep, no.
And that's really good. Like it wouldn't have happened in a party setting because like
in the other room, it wouldn't have happened.
Like how could you invoke that? The party setting, because in my head, like literally, like you were saying, like how you were just you were having a fear of being antisocial. Like you get so many parties, you get so many opportunities to have a party anyway. So I feel like this is something different. I chose I just sat down and just like listen to what people had to say. It was interesting. So.
Yeah,
that's a good point, but it's because it's particularly Dushan's party. Because I don't really like this is probably my first party in Ottawa in like over a year.
Yeah, same with me. Like
and
I didn't party at all.
And it was kind of like there were so many people who I haven't seen in a while, and then at the same time there were like adjacent people who I've never met, but.
Yeah.
But we took breaks, didn't we?
And even some of the people that were there, like I wasn't really compelled to like even the people who we knew, like I wasn't really compelled to like have a deep conversation. Like if they wanted to talk, come on the pod,
I feel like I'm much less interested in having quote unquote deep conversations these days because I have figured out what my strategy is for my life going forward. So I'm kind of more chilled out with just talking about whatever to just like increase like propensity with people.
I absolutely agree, but I also
still don't know what the fuck to say. Like I still don't know what the fuck to say.
What deep conversation would you have?
I don't even care about the deep conversations. Like I just want a conversation.
Any conversation. What would you say?
Exactly.
Though?
Like I hate when it's like a bunch of like I hate icebreakers. You know what I mean? Like oh, what you doing? Like what you been up to? Like shut the fuck up, gay son or thought daughter.
Really? Okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I hate that shit. Like yo, so. Like who'd you fuck?
I had someone that literally knew what I was studying ask me what I was studying. So,
it's so annoying.
You're so right because I think this is shared as well by some people at least because I want to tell you this, John, because you'd find it funny. So when I first picked up, I didn't really have like any. As always, my brain was just like completely null. So I didn't really care what we would talk about, and then we ended up talking about her career, And then the second that we drove in to the parking lot adjacent to Shemar's house to wait for Shemar, she just, and I parked my car. She's like, okay, enough bullshit. Tell me about quote unquote tea. Like that's what she said. And I was like, okay, that's what you really want to know. So I guess she was also like an example of somebody who was like completely bored with that, even though frankly that was your conversation. You drove the conversation there. But basically, she's like, yeah, like tell me, did you fuck anybody in university?
Yeah, that's what I did, bro. I was like, yo, so about the club. Like, what happened there? You're being haram.
Yo, you mad times you kept mentioning that. It was so funny. It was so funny.
Yo, cause like, bro,
it's so funny because she went once. She went once. Yeah. That one time that I went, like just once. I was so surprised when you guys kept talking about it.
No, it's because there was some information, and we have to cut this out of our podcast from yesterday. So I guess we have to cut it out of the podcast today. But yeah, there was a piece of information which was very interesting.
Yeah,
and it turns out it's not
true.
It's
because said he saw at the club and she was kissing a gal, and I said,
I guess it's not true.
I feel like that's someone else.
Or it could have been chilling with her friend.
Someone else that looks. No, bro, I actually believe it happened. She's fucking capping, bro.
There's no way it happened.
You really think so?
Yeah, I don't think it happened.
I'm trying to think about like if she's ever been close.
Like the thing is, I don't think she would, because she was so like I don't.
Yeah, bro. She hangs out with.
I don't think she would be
with like girls who are lesbian.
But
like,
she was.
All the time.
But she was so sure about the fact that it didn't happen. Like even when I asked her about it, she never.
I'm so sure about a lot of things and I lie. So
that's different though. But I wouldn't give her that amount of like lying ability credit. She had to lie about it multiple times throughout the night, and like she doesn't really have much to hide.
Dude, I said, look at me in the eyes and tell me you didn't do it. She looked at me in the eyes. I could smell the bullshit. I could see it in her eyes.
This is crazy.
She's capping.
This is the first I've heard.
Yeah, you think she made out?
Who's the blonde?
No.
Yeah, the blonde. The second blonde.
I don't know. I don't know who these women are.
They all look the same.
She was there with two people.
At the club?
Yeah.
How do you know this?
I don't know. She told me this.
She probably made out with somebody, bro. Like, I don't know. They probably felt a little goofy, little like.
Probably a guy that looks like a girl.
No.
Yeah.
And this was years ago. Sorry, like a year ago.
Okay, I was gonna say if it was years ago, things change.
Yeah. No. This was like the last time I saw her. Is when she said that to me.
That's hilarious.
Anyways, I'm just gonna say vile shit, bro, because like I'm actually been a demon time, bro. Like, dude, I was like, wow. Came up to me at the end of the party and said, "Yo, I was risen so hard," and I just looked at you.
John, hold your mic a little bit further this time, actually.
Asking, what's his face?
No, it was at the end. Like he came up to me and said it, and you were there. You were like helping us clean up. And
that's why I didn't hear.
Yeah, this guy was like, "Yo, like I was risen." I was like, and he was like, "Yeah, like I almost did it, but like I didn't even know." And I was like, "Bruh." And I looked over to you. You were like picking shit up, and I was like, "Oh, Shemar, I'm so sorry." Like I didn't even know what to say. I was like, "Bro." And then he saw that I was looking, so he turned around.
You so apologized.
I know.
I feel so bad, bro. It's okay.
He was really fucked up.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the camera right
now. Yo, I'll be honest.
Sure
that's like, I guess like I don't know. Like in my context of this is like you know what I mean, John. Like in my world, like this is so weird. Like you know what I mean?
What do you mean? I don't know what you mean.
Like how can somebody do that?
Could do that?
Yeah.
Like Riz your boy's mate.
Like particularly her, not because of her, but just like you know what I mean, like.
No, I do know what you mean.
Like she's like a sister.
Yeah, like it doesn't make sense. Like I would never like.
Like it's kind of weird.
I think this is like they just the whole like isolated from them. Not isolated, but
yo,
like, they don't see the.
Did you guys?
No.
But. Like they just wasted 10K.
It's over.
Out of all people,
he's a quiet guy. I wish I would have talked to him more.
I did talk to him a little bit. He was nice. He was kind.
Maria being there was really surprising.
I think
there was a lot of people
that invited her because I think her are
for sure.
Are they still dating?
Yeah, I think they are. Yeah,
congrats.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but I was like, wow, I didn't know like that would be the first person would
So many people did
talk
that.
with.
We almost drove her home, to be honest. Yeah, at the door, she's like, "I'm about to walk home," and I'm like,
Oh, I heard
"Okay,
that.
just drive with us."
And she said what?
Well, she said no, and then it was like a thing for 2 seconds. But then at the same time, I was like,
What did she say? Like no, or was she like, no, it's okay.
well, "No, it was the second one."
Oh, okay.
No, it was more
Imagine-
it was
imagine
more
you,
so a
like-
matter of being like kind. Like,
Oh no, bro! Like this is.
I mean, I wouldn't
I went to
think
like
that.
this guide meeting like a week ago, and like we were about to leave. We were just chilling, like all of us. We were chatting the whole time, and like, bro, I got this impression that they thought I was trying to riz this girl that we were with, and I wasn't. Like, what
I
the
feel like
fuck?
guys always get that impression, especially
No, but
when
she
they
was
like
as
the girl.
well. Like both of them were, and I was like, why the fuck do they think that? And like, bro, like I don't even like, bro. I was giving everybody the same energy, which is I do not give a fuck. Like I do not give a fuck about anything going on, and like like she lives in Nepean, and I'm like that's on the way, so I'm about to Uber, and we were downtown, so I'm like, and the guy that was driving him home lives in Orleans, and so, and they're not dating. No one's dating here. Like they just met as well, so they're like, yo, yeah, like we'll drive, like I'll drive her home. I'm like, well, I'm buying an Uber. It's like $20, and it's not gonna add any money for me just at a stop because it's on the way. We could just go. And she's like, no, it's okay. Like I'm gonna go. I'm like, okay, like I don't care. And then the guy who was beside me was like, you shot your shot. And I'm like,
Bro, can you imagine considering that riz? Like, oh, I want to fucking have an Uber for you along the way. It's not adding any money.
yeah.
And
Where's
that's so annoying. Like,
Where's the risk, bro? I'm just like, yo, like I could help you out, like I felt bad for the guy, cause like, bro, this guy's gonna waste all his gas driving like 40 minutes there and back. And I was like, okay, well, like,
you really blur that out? Like, he said, like, oh, you shot your shot, bro. That's so
bro, yes. He was like laughing, and I'm like,
what the
the
hell,
fuck?
bro?
like why? Like why do people do this?
Why do you think she didn't want to hop in the Uber?
Probably because she thought I was rizzing. I was trying to riz.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm not, bro. Like, I don't like these girls.
But the thing is, for me,
Oh my god.
I don't. I'm not. I wasn't a fan. Yo, like I don't know. I've been thinking about girls so much lately, bro. And I said this when I was in a relationship. I said this to y'all. Like I said this to Andrew. Like like I don't really get it. Like thinking about girls all the time because I have a girl, so it doesn't really affect me. But now, like, bro, every second.
oh, how the turntables.
What?
100%.
Nah.
That's where you fail.
No, I've never tried particularly.
Yeah, I feel like that's like a success.
Yo.
Like, this is ridiculous.
No,
I
Andrew.
feel like you should never tell people you're recording. Tell people you're live streaming for sure, because you're gonna have to
Yeah,
like.
people hate it when it's recorded. Yeah.
No, it's not even that. You're gonna have to cut out way more stuff. People are gonna purposely mess things up on purpose.
Yes.
It'd be like,
No, it's all about setting the standard, bro. Like,
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
like,
that's what you say. You
especially if your co-host starts fucking saying vile shit, everybody else is gonna say vile shit because they're like, okay.
Well,
yeah,
we're
it's
already
that
here.
kind
And the
of
thing is, this is such a chill. Like, I actually love this. I'm not
This
gonna
is
lie.
such a nice.
I
place,
love
yeah.
this vibe.
vibe. Yo, yeah.
I adore this vibe so
Yo,
much.
like I like the cold breeze. Like I love the trees looking right
Perfect
now.
weather too.
Yo, guys,
As
I
bipolar
know
as
this
it
contradicts
is.
everything I've ever said, but for this podcast, like, bring your mic slower. As long as you can still, like, you can hear me now, right?
Was it loud for
But,
you?
like, look at me.
I'm
It's just that when I hear myself talking like this versus when I hear myself talking like this, like, the thing is, the Scarlet makes it, like, so much more amplified that it's
Oh, okay.
ridiculous. Like,
okay,
like this
yeah,
doesn't seem like ear, but on YouTube it just made.
Sorry, I'm just used
So-
to. I'm just a trained doggy.
Yeah, I know. I used to always say that because we didn't have the headphones, so I was like better to ear than to not be heard at all. But
Yeah.
now it's a little different. I'm really scared.
Are we gonna try to get the headphones every time now?
No, we won't.
Why?
Because there's multiple pieces to it. Once we purchase a piece of equipment, we can probably do it.
Yeah.
I feel like it should be just like one person that has headphones and just
Yeah,
knows that
well,
audio's like fine.
because the thing is, typically Hadi's there for one, and Hadi should be like the technical
Yeah, yeah.
producer. But if we want to, we can have ourselves have that. Because also a lot of times, like whenever we're recording, especially when it's like not super loud in the background. You have in this live stream, you have John and I pulling out our phones once in a while to check.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the thing is, for one thing, the headphones, like we don't have to rent headphones. We can get our own headphones. Like people have headphones, but you have to get the little piece.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I was thinking.
like the mixer only has like one, or the mixer actually has like multiple headphones output, to be honest. But to get like 6 headphones, it's like it just becomes.
Do we really
overly
need like?
consistent.
Yeah, we probably need to get more
So
on a.
So yeah, it's more about having one person. Usually it's more right now. It's usually more about having one person. Like,
Anyways.
monitor.
Shadow Hadi,
Anyways.
so.
Yo, but let me on this subject. I'm gonna actually talk since it's clear that we're gonna censor a lot of this. Anyways, like for me, it's like because I know we've been with a lot the past few days, and like they're like, John. I think John asked this question like,
Yes.
and I'm just like, and they're like, yeah, like, and it's like.
Crazy.
It's kind of weird still being here, you know, because I'm like,
Bro.
it's like so like disrespect. It's
We're
like such
really
like a
gonna have to
disrespect
cut
thing.
this shit out, bro. You know, like you're on the last line, Andrew.
What's that? I'm not. I don't really feel like I'm part of that group of boys that much.
Shut the fuck up.
Ian,
Shut the fuck up.
What?
You played soccer with us, bro. Shut the fuck up. I don't feel like I'm part of the group, bro. I'm as disassociated with them as you are.
Yeah, you're talking about it more from like a historical standpoint.
Exactly. And historically,
Wow, that's I forgot that. I forgot about that.
Listen, bro.
Yo-
To him?
you told me.
No, you told me. Because I remember we were sitting in the car.
Oh,
and you're
you
like,
said
I don't
that?
wanna,
Yes,
I don't
want
want
to
to tell you. Actually, no, we were walking right beside Algonquin College, and you're like, I don't want to tell you this until you.
Because I wanted your confidence up.
I know, and I appreciate that, but I told you like.
You
like,
told me you.
Oh, is that what I said? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, my
So-
God.
So no, it's 'cause you told me because like I already known.
No,
That's
not even,
crazy. Do you
It's not
think
even
he
that
was-
part. It's more so the part like where he was listening to us like plan it out, which was like really crazy. That, which I, because the thing is, it was like it was probably like one of the most vile conversations I've ever been in, bro.
Bro, I can't believe. Bro, I can't believe. The thing is, I need to stop.
He's on his out of pocket co-host mode, bro. I'm living for it.
Yo. I realize I'm not at all.
It's like every human, I think.
That's just human, bro.
Jungian.
You're human.
Jungian
what I'm saying?
philosophy.
Yeah.
Like I'd be like, yeah, I'd do it. Like Drake, you know what Drake says? He's like, I'd do it.
I'd do it.
I'd do it.
I'd
I'd
do
do that for everybody. Everyone. Literally everyone. I'd do it.
Would.
I would.
Would.
I would.
Would.
my
That's,
God.
that's another thing, bro. People just say would.
Would. Would.
Would, yeah.
Like would. No, I'm going 100%. I'm Genghis.
He's taking everyone, bro.
Yes.
He's Genghis Khan.
Fuck it, I'm rich. Let's do it.
Fuck it, I'm rich. Y'all want me and a
It's in there,
uterus.
instinct.
Fuck it, I'm rich. Let's do it. Take a look at these diamonds, young as a life, a sprinter, conscious.
Bro, these guys are living
With
such
babe
rich life. Like,
Freaking
bro,
thin.
I actually just want like some like super interesting and rich experiences. Not rich in the sense of wealth, like rich of emotion. Like I feel like, and that's why I was asking you guys.
Right.
That's why I was asking you
right.
guys. Why do you think why do you think people like reality TV shows? Because for me, like, I actually hate watching them because it reminds me that I'm really living such a dull life at the moment.
Yeah, you really want. I think like, for me, one of the
Sometimes-
songs that captures really well is what's it called? It's like "Hell of a Life" by Kanye West.
Oh, I haven't heard that one.
We'll play it later.
Yo, yeah, we should. Oh man, we need Jamie, bro. Jamie, pull that one up. That one. Get that one.
Basically, just the chorus goes, "I think I just fell in love with a porn star." So you get the vibe.
Yeah. You get the vibe.
No, but like, yo, like, what, like, how do people actually live lives like that? Like, do people have like lives that are just a
Bro,
movie?
here's what I realized. Like, people, well, I guess some people do, but like for the case of a lot of reality people, they go back into their house and it's the most boring thing ever. So that's why I'm like, it has to be fake at some point.
Yes,
Like,
in the house it's always chill.
it's always the most normal thing ever, and they're in the show and they're like the most douchebag piece for content, obviously. I guess, but it's just like it's interesting.
Yo, if you think about artists though, think about some artists, think about some YouTubers,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, like they're on that.
Oh well, that
They're
that
on
goes
that.
without saying for
So,
sure.
But that's the
those
kind of
are-
life I wanna
Those are the
live.
people.
Yeah.
Like, how do I get that? Cause like I see like all these like TikToks, bro. Have you seen like the TikToks that have the song that goes,
Oh, like
You know what I mean?
The little like time lapse things where they
Yeah.
show all the rich things. And
well,
stuff.
not even. They're like running, bro. Like yo, I swear to God, like
Oh.
I'll scroll 2 times and it will be there on my
Those
TikTok.
For you page is done for.
I only got TikTok
Wait,
because I
what
needed to do some
are you talking
research.
about like one of those like where they just like flicker through their life?
Yes.
That's what I'm talking.
Yeah, I actually follow one of those guys who I really like.
I love
He's young.
like the cinematography is actually really interesting
Yeah,
for
it's the
me.
cinematography.
So, but like I want my life to look like that shit. Like yo, I'll show you, Shemar. Like it's probably gonna be like the first thing in my feed because I only look at this and I'm like, damn, my life sucks.
You gotta live your life to the fullest. That's what the song's gonna be in the background. It's a
Yo,
best-
like Motive is probably like the most like interesting thing I've been doing, and it's actually like so fun. But I just want all of my life to be like Motive. You know what I mean?
At least it's consistent though. Like I really like you guys are still doing this. No one really stays doing these things. I don't know.
Yeah. But the thing is, Motive is supposed to be like it's supposed to be that. Like,
oh,
that
I've thought about
experience.
quitting,
I mean, no, but like it makes sense. But
including over the past 12 hours, a whole lot.
Yo, yeah, bro. Nah, but like you know that you gotta keep going.
Yeah.
Like you gotta keep doing it, bro. Hold on, I wanna find my fucking. I really wanna find my history, bro.
I want stage.
Wait,
where-
I'll just pull one out.
My phone is just super low battery.
Do you think you guys are gonna get married before like you get into your established careers or after?
Yo,
This is
kind of what I wanted to. This is the reason that I wanted to talk about the whole. Like I genuinely, I'm not trying to say this to like be quirky. Like I genuinely have no idea like how I'll ever like date any woman.
You see this shit?
Can I see that?
Yeah, give it to him. Bro, they're literally just a bunch of white boys running in a field. That's literally it. But like the camera's shaking and it's like a pink sky and shit. It's like,
I think these guys are like film people specifically.
yeah, I think so as
Yeah.
well. But like, bro, why is my life not a movie?
There's this scene in the movie Limitless where he says, I found some new friends and we went to the beach. The beach was not close, or the beach was far away, and he like is in a jet, and then basically he hops and then they walk into the mansion, and then he sits down. He's like super sociable there, and then it cuts to him in the, oh, I forget the name of the car. And then he's driving and he has like a gal in the sundress shotgun,
Yes.
and then he kind of like
Yes.
he like 2 times like he almost crashes, but like he just looks at her like smiling after he like avoids the crash. She just like laughs it off, and then he goes and he's like at this like huge sorry, it's not a cave, it's like it's like a diving place, but it's not actually a diving place.
Like a cove.
Yeah, thank you. And then basically there's like one guy and like 2 girls there, and the guy says like there's no way he's gonna jump, and this guy just looks up at them. He's like, and then basically the narration is, there was only one problem with the truck. If I did not keep moving, I would go crazy, and then he just jumps right in. But him being really really sociable inside the house is what really I appreciated, because you know the car, you know, it's money, but I mean, sociability is something that I've struggled with throughout my whole life. Also, John, I'm sorry, I closed your phone. Can you please open it?
Oh, did you want to see it?
Yeah, I did actually want to see the video. I was curious.
I mean, like, there's so many videos just like that. Like,
I know.
I
I think I kind of know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah, it's just like, but like, I really love the ones that like clip through a bunch of cinematography videos, and it makes me feel like I'm missing out. Like, it makes me feel like I'm not optimizing my life.
Yes, FOMO, guys.
Yeah, it's basically just like 3 guys in like like the white dress shirts, like school bags,
Just running through like a field.
and it's like a beautiful sky, kind of like today, man. Like, it's gorgeous outside right now.
Yeah, this is such a vibe. I wish. Funny.
But dude, like, how do we? For one, I think my question is like, should I try to have a life like that? Actually, I don't even need to know the answer to that because
Yes.
I know what I. Yes.
You should always try. At least.
Yes. Like my life should be maximized where I'm the best at everything.
I just feel like there's so many restrictions where
Yeah,
we live.
it's really hard to sustain.
Like you can find a way around it, but it's just difficult.
I think it's hard to sustain.
I think like I'm trying to learn to live in that stress, and then it's like it's all chill, cause then the world is about to crash and it's on your shoulders.
And that's how it feels a lot of the time lately, where I realize like fuck, like it was all of my responsibility. In fact, I was thinking that last night. I wrote that down actually in my Notion. I was like, bro, like it's all you and you failed yourself. Like, fuck. I was so pissed because last night could have went a lot better had I just been more. And I could have, but like I just like literally didn't care to. Bro, like, oh no, this is today. I literally wrote like.
One thing I will say, John, is it's kind of interesting you talking about how you had some of that that wall, the see-through wall come up, where you're saying you were hesitant or fearful.
But
like, I've never really
I was
seen
slightly
that thus far in you.
Yeah, that's why I was really nervous.
Whereas for me, like, it's always been a thing.
That's why I was really scared, because I was like, why am I
what
feeling
kind of
that
trend
way?
is that? Yeah.
Do you think it's because like high school's over? Like, what do you think like drives that specifically?
I just think it's been really hard for me to connect with people, and not like inability to. Like, it's as I mentioned, like I'm scared, like I'm gonna be visibly uninterested in what they're saying, and I don't want to waste my time. But I wrote right here, like, it's you. You need to take control. You have the ability. You need to steer them in the right direction. And I was so drunk when I wrote this. You need to be a better leader, but a true leader. Be caring, patient, adamant, and calm, and always moving forward. And, bro, like so much, it's been ringing like a bell in my head that a lot of these things that has been happening in my life and around me has been in my control, and I haven't been taking action, and it pisses me off. And like in this case, like, had I not drank alcohol, had I not boxed, like that could have been an incredible podcast, because I would have no chill and I would have just made it good. But I was like, bro, like I was mentally fogged, and I hated that. Like, I hated it, man. I hated it so much. And I was like, oh, like maybe I should be doing it so that I could like socialize, bring them in. But like, bro, it's not worth it, man. Like, it's really not worth it.
I mean, this is a great example of where you just don't have enough conviction in your particular goal in order to make it be the priority above all else. I think
but the thing is, the conviction is like any goal.
Why did you do those things?
Any goal that because
of what?
Because I thought I could handle it. I forgot that.
Well, nonetheless, even if you thought you could handle it, you're still negotiating with yourself. You're still saying, is there a chance that I could do both, rather than saying I don't want to take the chance.
Yeah, that is the case. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's an interesting point. And you reminded me, I was thinking that. I was like, should I try to have like half fun and then also focus on the podcast, or what? And I was like, okay, like maybe I should like try to live it up. Like, but I really forgot how party settings work, because I haven't been in a party.
For example, that's like. But.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying like tactically, like truly, it would most likely be fine, but or am I gonna just like be like, well, I'm not gonna even approach that risk at all, because clearly the downside is is so down that it's clear that there's no reason to take that risk, even though most likely in that hour we would have been completely fine to go home at 4 a.m. Either way.
Yes.
So
I
clearly
was
just in that case,
Big
the goal was
negotiation.
the upside was not, the downside was not down enough.
No, yeah, like I just flat out like I didn't think it through and I got too much in the heat of the moment. Like I didn't drink until I boxed Might, and then that's like that's what I got downhill from
This
there.
is where it comes. This is where it comes.
But
to
no,
being
it's
very, very
really important because
clear-minded in all
yes,
moments.
absolutely. But like it's really important that you mention like drink with the boys, because like what I feel often, and this is actually why I started hating parties, is that like you would be with your boys and you would drink with them, and then like you'd be left to your own devices, and it's like I didn't come to drink for myself. I came to drink to be with the boys. So why the fuck am I drunk and alone right now? And that's really why I stopped drinking, because I
Right.
hated that like like it made no sense. Like I would not drink unless compelled socially. Like you'll never catch me drinking because I like the feeling's not that great.
Well, yeah, I think that's the case for most people.
Yeah, exactly. So like, you know, I was like, I was with the boys, and I'm like, I forgot about that. I literally forgot. Oh my gosh, like I'm just gonna be alone, and that's why I was pissed off. Like actually, it's just something I've experienced before, and I was being an idiot. But like now, I like, I don't know. I've become a lot more adamant lately. Like I've become a lot more. I come
Why
a lot
is
more
that?
direct.
Why is that?
Because I realized that I need to take control. But like last night was not a good example of that.
Like
However,
I want to stress. Sorry.
no. I mean like I have not much to add. But I was just saying like I realized that I need to take control, and it's not necessarily me, but it's just somebody has to steer us forward. And it's not like I necessarily take like I want to be a leader, or I don't take any pride in it. It's just like it's frustrating to me when shit goes south and nobody can take accountability for that.
Look, it's not about nobody can take accountability for it. It's about in the first place there was somebody who is accountable, and I want to stress just how. I'm not gonna say anything that like is new. You're gonna be like, yeah, like I know this. We all know this. Like I want to stress how important it is, the difference between adults and like young adults in leading. And it's like I'll go back to that moment where like Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan, was giving a large presentation to the Stanford Business School, and then one of the people in the MBA program asked him about their cohort like as leaders, and he essentially just like sort of he almost like laughed it off, and he's like, what do you mean, like you guys are very young, so you shouldn't be thinking about being leaders in these organizations yet. And again, these people are MBAs, so they're like 27, 26, 27, 28, and we're all concerned about finding what's important to us rather than focusing on one thing. But you can't do both at the same time at all. Like you just can't. So you have to make one sacrifice. If you want to be a leader when you're young, then you have to make the sacrifice of not knowing for sure whether you're going to miss out on something. Like FOMO and leadership do not go together at all.
And
Because when it comes to
You're gonna have to
somebody
take,
being
like-
accountable, being accountable for a certain prerogative, you have to be a CEO in that case. And it's like if you can let things slide, then it all fails. So when you say like I'm not saying this out of like any sort of like ego or flex, like that's completely obvious to all of us, because it's just tactically true that like like of course it'll fail. Like nobody else, like as nobody's gonna go get you a job, make you do your business, make you work out. Like
we should stop.
Sorry.
What were you gonna say, Shemar?
It's really just a sacrifice, like through and through. It's complete sacrifice.
Yeah. Like you came into that and you were thinking about two things,
Yeah.
and yet you wanted to be the leader
Yeah.
of something, whereas the leader would only think about one thing, and their employees would think about multiple things, and they would just be able to check off the marks for whatever they're doing.
Well, you could get why like it's conflicting for me, because like obviously I really hate missing out, but like
I'm empathetic, but I just know that none of this will ever work.
I know.
Until there's a clear strategy.
But like I've already accepted that for the most part. You know, like obviously I have to like stop making mistakes. But I mean, even Montreal, man, like I was fine being like a source of like negativity. I was fine being like someone who was telling to get the shit done and not necessarily being the most likable person there. Obviously, you know, you don't want to be a boss, whatever. You don't want to piss people off.
Bro, the fuck doesn't matter what you want, where you're fine or not. If shit,
I know. I mean, like, there's
shit needs to get done. Shit needs to get done.
Yes, exactly. You know, there's always ways to
doesn't
improve.
matter though because the video is not out too. So so it's like in that sense, like again, you chose a certain priority for a certain amount of time. But it doesn't matter because it was not enough commitment in terms of like time wise for it to actually play out through. So all your sacrifices in Montreal effectively went to zero. Because the video is like in lull.
Well, no, not necessarily. Like I mean, like when it's out. But you're right. Like, like it's a hard idea to wrap my head around that, like, you have to truly make sacrifice, because I do believe that there does exist ways to maximize everything to the best of your ability while also achieving your goals.
Our strategies are really good at allowing for many of our incentives to play out though. Like for example, if you would have been completely focused on the podcast, then you would have actually talked to more people. You would have talked to more women. You would have made more connections there. You would have made more people happy there to see you, and you would have shown more people what you were about. And you would have also found more people who cared about what you were about. So, like, this is another thing where our strategies often, like, intertwine so much with the broad diversity of what we want to do. Like, for example, money is always a surefire way to have a fantastically, like, invigorating and dynamic life.
Absolutely. And yeah, that was what I was trying to say earlier. Like, dude, at anything that, like, being a leader and making sure that things run smoothly enables everything else to fall through. Especially, you know, like, when you have accountability also comes, like, credit for make things run smoothly. And people do recognize that. And that's not something, like, you should look for, but it's just it's usually an outcome of a successful leader or a successful event in our case. So, and I mean, like, like, frankly, you know, I just need to take more leadership.
Yeah, like in terms of being a leader, I think another thing that is hard is really accepting that it does come down to one person. Like, for example, even if you look at my poster business, like, I tried to bring you in 50-50, but, like, nonetheless, it still fell and falls onto me to push things forward, especially to get the momentum up and then get you more interested in it. And that's something that I have not done. So, like, even though, like, I brought you in, you're like, okay, like, let's make it happen. It's like it still came down. The problem was still the same. Like, if there was a problem of how much productivity can be had from one contributor, then sure, that could have been solved by having more people with more equity.
That's actually super interesting, because it's like the reverse case, like, for me, like, with Motive, because, like, obviously I have
because you're Motive CEO.
Yeah, and like wow, that's actually really that's a really good perspective to give, because, like, when I look at for posties, like, yeah, I'm obviously interested and I would provide.
Right, but it's like, why would you provide if I do not spearhead it?
Well, it's not even that. It's just like I can't move forward unless you do.
That's right.
Like, genuinely, like we gotta like I don't know how to.
That's right.
I don't have, like, the business credentials to even like go forward and acquire the IPs. Like, I would have if I had access to that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing in terms of Montreal. Like, I have access to the Montreal video, and I've been fucking wasting my time being an idiot.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It's all edited, right?
So.
Yeah, it's actually it's pretty much done. I've actually been thinking about, like, ways I could make this even better. Like, I've just been trying to short it down. Like, frankly, I could upload it right now, but I want, like I just want it to be perfect. But that's a different conversation. Like, frankly, I'm being stupid. I should just tell Hadi, hey, make a.
I could try editing if you want if that's something.
Oh, you want to help out? That'd be
Yeah.
funny, actually.
It's
That'd be
so
funny.
fire.
Like the promotional video.
Yeah,
No, but, like,
we just want.
like
Yeah.
have your video and like just like another like edited video of that thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Hadi
yeah.
already made one, and we just like
Okay.
all I want him is just like I want like
That's
and this is again on me, which is like this is why I get so upset with myself, because like sometimes I'm just wasting my time and I'm doing some shit where I shouldn't. I should just like just be disciplined
Yeah.
and just cut whatever I'm
It
working off
feels like
just to
what?
make this stuff
It
work.
feels like homework. Like the thing is, like
It-
editing like
it
funny,
is though, right?
like funny stuff.
Yeah.
It's just you'll laugh, but it's so tedious.
No,
just
it's-
being
yeah.
on that
It's
computer
90% grind.
all the
Yeah.
time, doing little bits of like shit like constantly.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're right though. I do
Editive
laugh.
stuff.
Just-
It's like
Oh, yeah.
you'll find like funny times. It's gonna be fun, like editing something like because you have like your own like you were in it, for example. So like you feel for it, like you feel how funny it is. You feel how funny those moments are. But it's just,
Mhm.
it's still tedious editing no matter what.
Oh
Yeah, editing is super tedious.
It's so tedious.
It's also because like we're trying to figure out like how to actually do it. You know, like learning how to actually make like YouTube quality content. It's a little bit more difficult because you want to you want to add creative things. You want to make the viewers more like engaged. You want to make it good, especially from what we've been building for so long. Like I don't want to release something that's shit.
Yeah.
Because like
Just back on the point of leadership real quick, I want to relate this to one thing that we talked about some time ago where I was saying how a lot of like wannabe entrepreneurs who are more wannabe than me come to me and say, hey, let's do this. We should do but then I related like our language a lot of time, and less so now because we kind of realize, but our language a lot of time has been also like we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to do this, and then it's up in the air for somebody to grab and say, I will decide, I will delegate here. And the thing is, you're still on the same curve, right? Because we really shit on this where I was like, yo, like I was telling you, these guys come to me and they're like, hey, let's like start a business together.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're doing this, like, hey man, like bro, we can make it happen. And I'm like, tell me what to do. Because and the reason I don't appreciate you coming to me with that attitude is that you essentially want me to hold your hand through this. Because you don't have, because you are just a bit too fearful or a bit too insecure to take it up yourself, and you want me to kind of mentor you, but I'm in no position to mentor you, and also I don't have any incentive to do that.
Are you talking directly about me?
No, I wanted to relate
Okay.
what we're talking about to how you and I both
I
have
agree, though.
experienced many people on many different occasions coming to us, and essentially what they do is they basically want to be an employee but get 50% equity, which is obviously a horrible deal.
They want to be
But
co-founder.
the point that I'm making is that
Instantly,
that
too.
is in some sense on the same linear as what we do a lot of time,
Yeah.
and what we're getting away from. So it's like we're this, it's the same ass problem, which
No,
is at
you're
the end of the
so
day,
right.
like, it just doesn't make sense because we're saying,
And that's what I
let's do this,
identify
let's do
though.
this.
Like
we need to do this. Like anytime anyone says we need to do this, like you just know that idea is gonna fly nowhere.
yeah. But that's why like, but like
He's not wrong.
We need to go camping.
yeah. No, but that's what I like that's why I just want to do all of it myself. Like I do identify that, and I don't want to like I want to do it all myself. In fact, I just wish I could. Like I wish I had an infinite amount of time to like make all of this stuff happen really fast. And obviously, I just need to learn to be better. And like that's where it's so frustrating because like it's hard to like actually do all of it.
Learning in the early days, obviously we got Hadi, right? So it's like
Yeah.
we got automation. I mean,
Actually, yeah, today like I spent the whole morning trying to make an automatic chapter thing, and if you actually look at Thomas video, it's chaptered.
it
It's
is.
not that great. It got like a couple chapters really good. Like when we were talking about like dreams and stuff, perfect. When we were talking about like other things, perfect. But sometimes it was messing up. But like like that's the kind of stuff that I want to be doing. Like I want to be able to do that and then like never have to think about it again. Like that's
And then within a few years, if you're successful, if you're dedicated, you'll just have people who are professional automators, and you'll tell them.
yes.
Like ideally you just want to be defining strategy, and then be on the ground, kind of like
Yes.
showing that you are pushing it forward.
I want the vision to be translated one to one.
This is the difference between, okay, yeah.
But
That's
anyways, like, yeah, man, like,
Let's
like,
move.
yeah, exactly. You know, I'm just trying to be like, I just know I need to be a better leader, and I need to take more accountability, and that's why, like, you know,
I
I'm
think
not
that
trying to do any more
for-
drugs ever.
For
again.
me, what being a better leader right now means, it's very tactical. It's a matter of
Yeah.
cutting out the right things. It's a matter of identifying what are the things that are actually worth investing my time in terms of bringing them on to others to execute. Because large projects, I don't have the capacity right now in terms of like a base of executors, whether that's automation or employees, to have them execute large projects well. They're gonna execute them shit, and then the thing is, once they do that shit, it's not going to bring any value to anybody, which means they're just gonna get demotivated because they're like, why the fuck did I do all this? Why did I follow your steps to do shit, which then brought no value back to you,
Mm-hmm.
and then did not grow the organization that I have dedicated my time to. So I think that, like, as an entrepreneur, and this is the difference, right, between a CEO and an entrepreneur, is that an entrepreneur has to be tactical as well as strategic. And so you have to find the little points of leverage that you can get in order to build up some wealth and get some leverage. Like, for example, we were talking about this. Like, for me, it's like having Hadi cut out timestamps that I tell him to cut out was a very simple thing that was high leverage, but also not so high leverage that it was going to be shit. Like, that worked out perfectly. And it very clearly cut out time out of my week in the early parts of the year. When it came to clips, there was some struggle. You know, we tried to write up some briefs. We thought about giving some examples, but in the end, it was not defined well enough for Hadi to go and do it well enough that it would actually be of value. And so that's for example, like when it came to like, for example, like editing like Montreal, you know, it's like it would take me more time to try to figure out.
The clips were all over the place too.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like one person. Well, like for the one thing that was recorded all the way. One thing I learned is editing clips is way harder than editing like footage of something.
Yeah. Yes.
Because you have to put that in. You have to think about where to put, like, for example, the
Right.
B-roll, when to cut that out. I feel like, in a way, in my head, when it comes to editing, you see how like TikTok is, right? And you see how like YouTube is, and the most like popular YouTubers, their people's attention span has been like cut really short recently. So
Yeah.
in my head, if we had like enough footage like for like everything, we would have like what like the meetup happen, and then like B-roll of us going to the place, and then
That's
the
what we have.
podcast in the middle. Okay, like yeah, you guys did that, but it's just like cut into like little increments basically. Like what I've seen some YouTubers do is like have a segment of the video in like the middle beginning, and then cut that short, add something else in the middle, and then put it back somewhere else in the video.
Right.
Which I find it really helps with like, attention span.
Yeah,
of people.
yeah.
It's actually kind of sick.
And that's where it goes to the fact that, like, again, like, we have the strategy, but we're struggling with the execution
Mhm.
of it, and often that comes with not being decisive and not allowing things to play out over a prolonged period of time, rather
It's
than
frankly
wanting
just
things to play
discipline.
out quickly.
Like, yeah.
Yes,
It's
discipline.
frankly just like,
Like-
it's actually just like rudimentary issues that we've been running into time and time again that we have yet to correct. It's issues that plague every single aspect.
Every
of
single
execution in our
business
lives.
as well is plagued by these issues. They
Of
are very,
course.
very common.
Because it's actually like when you put a little bit of thought into it, like it's solved, literally solved. Like just a little bit. Like
The
That's
reason that relates to Shemar's point is that what you said, like we actually been like theorizing processes of like how we can like cut these videos from like a top down level to like segments
Yes.
and then down.
But we
to
need to write them
clips.
down. We need to define them, like document perfectly one to one, and then think about all the ideas and make sure we get it on paper, and then also action it. And like we could do that really easily, but like, you know, like fuck.
Well, easily is it's not actually
I
the
feel like
case.
it's just hard having like 3
It-
heads into one.
The point is,
video
unless
process, I
you
feel,
have to,
probably.
somebody has to write, like, everything has to be written through, down to the very, very fine details.
Yeah.
And that is something that just balloons.
Well, I
in
mean,
scope.
like, yeah, but we can do that. We can expand and have the core deep principles. It's like that's what makes effective communication, to be able to make things concise, and we can make things concise because there are always core principles that we need to focus on. In terms of like clips, like, you know, now that I've gotten like time to think about it, like we just need to iterate consistently. We need to just post it, and then we need to make sure that we optimize for retention by, you know, like choosing quality clips to promote consistently. And then we just have to add a little bit of juice and flair, and we can go into depth on all the little juice and flair, and we can go in depth onto all of these things, because I've seen it, like I can see it, and I've consumed enough YouTube to like identify what exactly it is, and we don't need to waste our time. Like, frankly, we could just, but that's also my issue, because I think, oh, it's trivial, and then I don't write it down, and then I also don't execute, and I also don't communicate. So it's really just like in terms of, it's just a character thing. Like it's just a personal thing that I need to learn and develop.
It's trivial, but not trivial enough for our current character.
It's trivial in terms of, yes, you're so right. It's trivial because like we can identify that it is like, it's trivial, and like through thinking it's pretty obvious, but it's not trivial because we don't execute properly anyway, which is something we just need to work on. And it's just so annoying. It's so, like, I just been pissing myself off because of this. Anyways, we don't need to go
John,
anymore in
you
this.
Yeah, so moving on, over the past week you've been asking a lot of people about how they see their life playing out. So now I'm gonna put that onto you and Shemar. And in order to set the tone and explain the context of this question, John, how would you answer the question that you've asked so many people over the past 2 weeks?
Well,
let's go 1 year, 2 years,
yeah,
and 3 years.
I've just been looking for some. I've been looking for some, I guess, like some more context, more perspective on what I want to be doing with my life in terms of purpose. And I've definitely been asking a lot of people like what they want to be doing, like what their purpose is, what are they trying to be focused on. And I just want to know that I'm not missing anything, because I fear regret more than anything. And so, like, for me, I have some clear purpose that I want to fulfill, and I want to be working towards living forever. I want to work towards longevity, and
what you talked about yesterday.
Yes. And you know, it's good that we are reiterating it, because I'm getting better and better at telling my story. But I think that humanity and consciousness in itself is by nature to understand more, and I want to be able to understand more as an individual, and I think a lot of people do as well. And I also think that there's a lot of things that bring quite a lot of unnecessary pain that comes with things like death, and especially death in terms of, I guess, something that happened too soon. For example, you know, like cancer. And I used to want to become a pediatric oncologist. Like, I wanted to work with kids who had cancer. And I realized I probably wouldn't be able to handle that mentally. I'd be thinking way too much about it. So I decided to work towards a technological approach, which is downloading one-to-one someone's consciousness onto a computer. The methods of which, you know, we don't know yet. But that's the premise, like an SD card, and then you can upload it somewhere else. And sorry, James is calling me. I'll give him a cameo on the pod. Hey, James.
Where are you?
We're on the pod.
Oh.
Like.
Okay.
Okay, bye, James. I thought you'd say something funny.
Wait, where?
Briargreen field.
With?
Shemar and Andrew. Anyways, we're watching the pod. Okay, I thought you'd say something funny. Bye-bye. I thought you'd say something out of pocket.
John guards James so much from this podcast. It's ridiculous.
I do, man. Because
He wants to be super successful when James comes onto the podcast.
No, I want James to be super successful when he comes on the podcast.
Oh, okay.
I want James to come on, and then when he looks back, he's like, I'm glad. But anyways, like, you know, like I just want to work towards living forever, and I know I have to focus and dedicate a lot of my time towards that, and I have to be incredibly strategic in order to accomplish that. So I was just wondering what everybody else's plans were on how they were going to achieve whatever they want to. So my goal for a year is that I want to get into a position that I want to get into a position that has a lot of capital that can basically sponsor my research. So I want to be a part of it. I want to be associated with an institution that can like give me the GPUs and the hardware to enable me to test a lot of these research ideas that I'll have. So, you know, NVIDIA with their massive GPUs is my first choice. Myra HQ in Montreal, also incredibly revered. Then, you know, we have Google, Microsoft, OpenAI, and etc. DeepMind as well. Those are also pretty great centers for research. So within a year, that's my goal primarily, to get in a position with one of those institutions.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Like, that's all I'm going to be focusing on. I'm also going to, at the same time, I'm going to be reading a research paper every single day, as much as I can, and contacting every single one of those professors so I can, you know, get more leverage, get more connections. And at the same time, I'm going to be using whatever research I'm studying for specifically to help me in building what I want to be building. And right now, I think that, like, I just want to try out, like, an approach which is trying to replicate different levels of intelligent beings of life, basically. So I'll start with, like, replicating the behavior, I guess, of a like an amoeba, like, you know, super single-celled organism. Then, you know, moving up the chain, like getting more in depth the research. I know there's like brain scans of like fruit flies, so I try to, you know, perhaps I could make something similar like that. And then, you know, towards mice, because I know we also do that at the University of Ottawa and also elsewhere as well. And then afterwards, you know, if I can continue pushing forward, I would try to reach the highest level of complexity. So I want to produce a series of research papers that covers specifically AI applications in replicating intelligent systems, and also to some degree trying to focus on the consciousness and cognitive processing part of that. So that's what I want to do in 1 year. That's what I really want to be focusing on towards my career. Obviously, you know, I want Motive to be I want Motive to be a lot crazier. I hope
you want Motive to be a Motive, bro.
Yes. I hope within the
That's
next.
actually a really good phrase.
Oh,
Well, no, it just defines.
use
You're like
it.
you want
Motive's
Motive to be a Motive. Yeah.
Yo, you got a catchphrase for Motive? What's the motive?
That's too, like, you guys say it all the time though. You gotta have something else.
Like, what do we say when we intro? Like, what's up, guys? Tonight's motive is like,
ladies and gentlemen.
That's not that bad.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's motive. The thing is, like, that takes away like the slang.
The reason you want to do it.
Motive is
Motive's like, yo, this is the motive. You know what I mean? Like, ladies and gentlemen, like, I know we're proper, but like we gotta like.
Are you proper, fam? I haven't heard that.
Are you
so
proper?
It's because you want to acknowledge that there's both women and men watching this.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. That's
Language is really important in that way.
Hey, guys and gals, we're at
Hey,
tonight's
what's up,
motive.
guys?
No, that sounds more like you're trying to be like all inclusive. But ladies and the thing is, just because you say a word that encapsulates a set of things, you want it's like.
No, I know.
people's
I'm
bias.
just thinking we could definitely think of better
We
ways
could start
to
with-
address it.
And also, I think
I'm not saying we
you
need
want
to change
You
this
want to
right
have a roll clip where you can just repeat things. It's
Yeah,
like, at the end of the
yeah,
right, you want to have
yeah.
be like, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen,
I know what
ladies
you
and
mean.
gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, and then it's like, and then after that you can have whatever like.
Yeah. I just want to say, like, I love this weather.
That's what a lot of podcasts do. Just have like one specific word and then something else following.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd
Like
be
it's
really good.
usually the
Really
intro.
good.
John. So you
So you want me to
that's-
continue?
That's
or-
your goal. Yeah, continue. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll try to be like quicker. But 3 years and 5 years though is really interesting. Like I think
Interesting or unknown.
it's interesting because it's less unknown than 10 years. You know what I mean? Like, it's more interesting to think about 3 or 5 years because it's sooner. Because 10 years is
all the small little bits of
yes.
what you're trying to get to.
Yes, absolutely. So in 3 years, Well, let's extrapolate for a second. So if I'm at these positions,
22.
yes, I'll be 22. It will be like I'll have graduated
years?
university. Yeah,
Oh my god.
I'll have graduated university. Hopefully, finished my undergrad. I will have hopefully been a part of a research institution for 2 years, and I should have been uploading plenty of papers within that time. So I could have upwards of 4 to 10 research papers. So that would be pretty interesting, but that's just in the research aspect. I would hope that my life has been. I would hope that I've upped the ante so much more in my life within the next 3 years. I would hope that. I would say that I would have completely changed towards like. I'm more close towards the person that I want to become forever than towards the person I am right now in 3 years. And in 5 years,
Much more close.
like closer, but like do you know what I mean?
No, when
like
you say up the ante, you mean you've grown much more close. You've grown at
Well-
closer at a higher rate than you have in the past.
yeah, like my exactly like, but it's like like
Is that what you mean or no?
it is what I mean, but like there's more nuance, like like right now, like I want to be living up the ante, but I'm not, and the person I want to be is always up in the antes.
You hope to be less fearless. Sorry, you hope to be more fearless.
Yes, but like everything, there's a lot of different components, but like there's a lot of different things that we could talk about in terms of character. Like I want to be courageous.
What's notable?
I want to be courageous. I want to be a good leader. I want to be incredibly valuable, and also incredibly attuned to the moment. I want to be super energetic about everything that's going on. I want to live truly in the moment and really enjoy every second of it.
Live in the motive.
Yes, of course. Thank you.
Yes, Shemar,
Keep
going,
adding.
keep going. W
adding
co-host.
catchphrases.
W co-host.
But yeah, like I want to be that guy. But like also in my head, I want to be like.
You want to be excited constantly.
Yes, all the time. But it's
Yeah.
because everything is also excited. Like everything is also exciting. Like typically I am pretty excited about everything anyway, but like I also want everything to be exciting in and of itself. And I want to be able to continuously bring that out in people.
Yes.
And it's not like I don't want to be like exhausting in that regard. Like I just want people to be I just want people to see.
Take the mic a little bit further from
It's
your mouth.
hard for them to like understand that vision. So like it's better that
Yeah.
you're all on the same
Yes.
And this is
page.
But I don't want to
this is a
have to
problem
tell
that-
people
this
about
is-
it.
this
I
is a
want to
problem
give that
that-
aura, and they get ensnared in it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And they just love
for
that.
for each different individual, you can very innately and very quickly to them identify the few key points that kind of make them acknowledge the excitement
Of course.
of whatever you're
course.
saying or whatever the scenario
Well,
is.
I wouldn't say I need to actively do it. I would say it's just like, of course I'd want to be able to, but I would want to have identified all those cases so that passively it happens. Like passively they are ensnared in.
Oh, you don't
in
think
my-
it's a matter of intuitively figuring it out for each
I do
individual?
think that definitely is important, especially if someone's resistant to it.
Yeah.
But I would
and
say
they typically are.
I would say I already have the intuition for that anyway.
Mhm.
But I don't want to have to think about it anymore. Like I don't want to have to be like, okay, I need to convince this
So you want to be
person.
more intuitive.
I should just be walking in a room, and then people are
They're
like,
on board.
yeah, they're like, wow, like let's have fun, let's party.
Yeah, it's okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you wanna
But
just be exuberant.
Yes,
it.
of
Because
course.
all we do also is just, like, especially at this age, we're on the stage of college trying to get into our careers. All we do is work, go to school, work, come back home, family. So like, you're right. Like anything like that should like get people to have do something, have fun,
Mhm.
do something exciting.
Right.
No, that's a good point. Like a lot of people are focused on their own lives 100%
Yeah.
because they're trying to figure things out. But I also think it's a duality. Like either
No, but that's
someone
what-
is
that's why they
super,
should. That's
yeah,
why they
yes.
should, for
Either
sure.
someone is super into getting ahead, or like they're or rather they have no depth. I think in all regards, most of us I'm not saying I have depth. Like I don't even think I have depth. Most of us have like very little depth, and like they focus on one thing and one thing only, and they have very little going on in their lives. So it's either they're doing like all of that into school, and they're like, you know, they study school, but they have nothing else, or they party all the time and they have nothing else.
Like, you know what the key is? Like, we
I
literally
would
know it's
disagree.
like,
I think there's a dual. I think most people are doing both at the same time. They're as Shemar said, they go to school and have their family life.
but that's why it's also like would be like what John said. Like they should be able to feel excited, like, doing exciting things.
Yeah,
Because their life is just two things: work, party, drunk.
but
weed.
they're identifying. But they're what's something that became very clear yesterday on our podcast is that they're identifying that the most important thing they'll do in their life is have their own family. So in some sense, they disregard anything that does not add to that as being at all important because there's no equity in that.
But they're not like they're not truthful when they say that. No, like not to be like not to be like
Are they
blunt.
not truthful?
They're not to be
How is
blunt.
that the
But
case?
it's
Often do you
it's not the
think of
case
it
because when you ask them if you could do anything you can to make the most amount of money, would you? They said no. So it's obviously not the case that they only care about their family because they care about what purpose they give. And that's natural. Like all humans are more nuanced than that.
That's true.
But like if they were truly 100% in that, and that's where it's different between like they and I, because me, like when it actually if it actually came down to, like as of right now, choosing between fulfilling my purpose and having a family, I would choose the purpose 1,000 times over. I would not hesitate. Probably 1,000 times, and then one time maybe I'd choose it. But that one time is where I'm like.
Yeah,
But it's because I trust in myself that I will make sure that everything else still follows through.
Right.
But the priority is still
so
the purpose.
I was gonna ask about that trust actually, because before you go on to your greater plan in terms of longer timeline, like after the 1 and 3 year, like considering especially the 1 year, why did you play tennis the other day with Michelle?
Because I want to be better at tennis for the white rich people. But yeah, like that's been a huge question for me. Like that's what I've been debating, because like I've just been wondering how I should really go about it, like and if I should be doing it well. And frankly, I still think it's a discipline issue. Absolutely.
So would you have done it
But-
would you have done it again? Like looking back? Was that a right decision or a wrong decision?
Not in the same way that I did it. No. I would have done tennis, and I would have had a time, and I'd said it's done now. You know what I mean? Like I'd be like, this is done.
Yeah.
But I would have like that's how
So you just would have been more disciplined about it.
I'd be less spontaneous. Because I try to leave rooms for spontaneity, and that's because that's something I really love. But it's been at the crux of a lot of my frankly tardiness.
Are spontaneity and discipline innately inverse?
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
I would say that discipline takes away opportunities for spontaneity.
But if you're disciplined in making sure that you make room for both spontaneity
Exactly.
and things that need to get done, then you can still have spontaneity in your life.
We're
And if
going a level down now, though. Like just like on the upper level.
you can't really talk about the upper level and also ignore the deeper level. But it's not necessarily. It's still the case that like you can just be disciplined and have time block for, hey, this is time where I'm focusing. This is time where I'm spontaneous. But you got to make sure that you're spontaneous at that point. So I think it's like I don't think they're perpendicular. I think they're they're parallel. Like I think like you can be incredibly disciplined and also incredibly spontaneous. It's just a different level. And if you're not satisfying one of those things, like it's not gonna change the other. Like if I'm super disciplined, I could also still be super spontaneous, because I'm just disciplined about organizing something. But anyways,
It's convenient.
yeah,
Well, it
I'd
is.
say so.
It's not.
Yeah. No, it is. And it's just a matter of be making sure that you can do it. But for I just want to be able to in the future, I just want all the things that I'm worrying about right now to go away. Like I want to and that comes through mastery of of discipline. It comes through mastery of mindfulness. It comes through a lot of mastery, and I expect myself to reach some level of mastery within the next 3 years. Like,
Yeah,
and that would be my
that's
goal.
reasonable.
So in 3 years, I would have mastered discipline to some regard. Actually, I would have mastered discipline. Like I should never have to think about discipline ever again within the next 3 years.
Right.
Because it's just routine at that point.
Yeah, exactly, absolutely. So, like in terms of actual position, like I should have started a company, or about to be starting a company. Like I should be building the building blocks to start like a company towards longevity. Like I should be starting gathering funds for this within the next 5 years. So 3 years, 3 years and 5 years. Like I should start 3 years. I should have it by 5 years.
I think the second that you start gathering funds, then you start the company. It's just a 24/7 thing then.
I mean like. No, but I mean like yeah, of course gathering
You
funds.
can't
and
pull up
support.
to the
No, I
to
mean
the
like just like
investor board meeting and say,
yeah.
you know, guys, we're figuring out.
Okay, then I guess
Yeah,
I should be having clients signed in 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
I should be having like, well, yes, clients in
why.
terms of automation. Like I should have clients
Right.
signed in an automotive business within the next 5 years.
Bro wants to achieve product market fit within the next 365.
But like I just wanna I just wanna be working towards like things like automation, and I wanna be working towards making things a lot easier for myself. And then within the next 10 years, like it should be that I have
Right
like,
at the edge of 30.
yeah. No, 10 years is
Right
yeah,
at the
yeah,
edge
yeah.
of 30.
No, I was thinking of like what year is it? Like what year is it? It's 2033. Like
You're gonna be really young though at that point. Well, not like I guess.
yeah,
relatively young.
2033, man. If we haven't broken out into World War III, I'll be very happy by then. But
It's so cap. Everybody says that shit's so cap.
you think it's not gonna happen?
You think it's gonna
not.
happen?
Might pulled up talking about some Civil War shit, bro.
Oh,
wanna see
yeah, I
that.
disagreed with that. Yeah, Civil War. Like, there's no like we're not gonna have internal.
If
wars.
anything, we're gonna like. They always try to divide and conquer with the government shit, but if anything, we're gonna overthrow the government. If anything.
That's Civil War.
I think
So it won't happen.
dude, like World War III
Type shit.
type shit, type shit. I love when he says that.
Bro, made me start saying that.
Type shit. Yo, it's actually gorgeous weather right now. I
Yeah,
wish.
this is perfect right here.
Wow,
right
like-
this instant.
Dude, I've been saying this so much. Like I get nostalgia, like towards like this kind of weather. Like I feel
Yeah, it's
really
nice
nostalgic.
to just be out here. Bro.
Apparently, it's how it like Europe feels all the time.
That's just cap.
Bro.
I mean, hey, more walkable than here, so
Yeah.
it's surely.
Yeah, bro.
Bro,
Ukraine just
freaking
feels so nostalgic.
banning all gas vehicles in 2020. What 2026, 2020?
Wow, that's good. Though.
2030 maybe.
Yeah, I always think about that, and I think about Taylor Swift taking her jet plane just over everywhere she goes.
Oh, Shemar's on
Okay,
the
yo, yeah.
I get angry.
So
I get angry.
so when we go back to you both talking about position, let's get really specific here, because that's what I wanted to do with Gennady, but I guess we left a lot more room for like flow. But I want to hear this, okay? I want to hear how are you growth? What's your growth character? Like, what's your mindset? What's your actual goal focus? Like, what are you working towards, or what do you have? I guess. And then what's your actual position? Like what house you got, what car you got, what wife you
Ooh.
got, if you got a wife.
Okay.
So I want the character, I want like the possession, I want like not the possessions, but like I guess like things that you're doing, experiences. Okay, yeah.
Like realistic.
Yeah, experiences, mindfulness, and
So-
possessions.
Like realistically, like I want to. For one, I'm saving up for a car right now, like all from the money I'm making at this.
Well, let's go it by like 1
1
year,
year,
3 years,
3,
5
okay.
years.
So in 1 year, like I want to continue with my like where my like work occupation I'm studying for, social service worker. So I want to just continue doing that. I want to get more connections with OCDs because I want to work more towards a school,
Mhm.
like somewhere in that realm. So I want to talk to more people. I've been talking to people at Knoxville because I did co-op at Knoxville.
Mhm.
Mr. Cameron, remember him? Legend.
No way.
Legend, bro. He is bald now.
Oh shit.
Yes, he's bald now.
Wow. How old is he now? Like
I
60?
have no idea. He looks the exact same. He's just bald. That's it.
Wow.
Still.
That's something I realized. Like adults, like they don't change how they look.
Well, yeah,
Which
because
is
I
so
feel like at a
weird.
certain point, you just look the same.
You
for,
have
like,
to look the same
10
because
years.
you actively interact with the same people. You have to have consistency in your appearance.
You don't have to. I mean, like
I mean, he did go bald.
You
you're
actually
not
don't-
obligated. It's
you
just
want-
like you're not compelled to do anything different.
you want if you're an employee, you want to be like shy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't want to, right? Like as Steve Jobs said, you're told that
Elementary
you should
school
stay in your
everybody
box.
knows
You
that.
don't want to, like make too many people like question what you're doing. So it's the same thing in terms of keeping your look the same. Whereas like
Just
if
to
you
be
look at
clean,
me,
bro.
I'm not that guy. I've been told like Andrew, your hair looks different every month. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, me as well, bro. I'm
Yeah,
wearing different
yeah.
clothes at times. Like,
Yeah,
you're
that's
wearing
awesome.
Jordans today, John? I'm like, yeah. Yesterday you wore a suit. I'm like, I know.
I'm like, oh shit, sorry. I forgot that I went into the context of this. I was like in a totally different world like an
Yeah.
hour ago. Yeah.
So Shemar, year
Um,
like what are
Year
what's
one,
your
I want to
character?
continue graduate in my field, probably go into somewhere around like the school and stuff like that.
What
get
are you
my
thinking?
car.
Like, what are you thinking in a year?
Thinking in a year?
Like what are you thinking? What's going on in your head?
Stable job that I want to like at least stay in for like a few years. I want to have my first out of school job like in my profession, but I'm somewhat feeling like, well, for one, I do not want to do anything like social worker-esque for like the rest of my life. That's just not something I want to do.
Do you know what you want to be doing?
Ultimately, like either voice acting or
Really?
yeah, voice acting.
Oh
or-
shit! Nah, that would actually be perfect.
voice acting or just like
Type
trying to do
shit.
like online content, bro. Because I'm really good at editing. I know I'm really good at editing. I take fun in it. Of course, it gets tedious. No one wants to be in a computer for that long. But it's fun editing.
Have you been still making YouTube content?
Yeah, I've been. So basically, you know how I had that Shemar account.
Yeah.
I recently started using that again.
No way.
And then I was trying to, because I was like actually studying times to post, things to like talk about, like things to post. You know how it's just memes, right? But
Yeah.
since Reels came out, it's gotten like way easier for things to like gain attention. You can gain attention so fast with Reels versus TikTok. TikTok is just chance. For example, on TikTok, like the more hashtags you put, the less your video is gonna get put out.
I think it's because like TikTok is like I'll let you finish.
Pretty
but
oversaturated.
I'll say like I was gonna say TikTok is like more like a direct reflection of what the majority of people are interested.
That's true.
And I think like
it has everything.
Reels is like very individual. The same with YouTube Shorts.
Reels, yeah, Reels has. Oh, YouTube Shorts is so
Yeah.
generalized, bro.
Yeah.
I see like people like I don't know. I see people doing gardening on Reels just on my feed. The first thing I see, I'm like, oh wow, that's a nice garden. Basically, like I think Reels like it has a lot of because Instagram, you know, like remember like when we were like younger, all our memes came from Instagram.
Yeah, yo, that shit was fire.
It was a different time. But like one thing, for example, the Titanic thing was coming out, like the Titanic issue,
Yeah.
the Ocean Gate thing. I posted a meme.
Those were so funny.
They
Those
were
were hell.
so-
The comments were even better
It
though.
was so funny, bro.
Yo, I do. I always see your posts. I always like it, bro.
Thank you. Bro, I made a post about, so it was like LeBron being like LeBron was being like the Titanic. He's like, nah, I ain't finished, nigga. And the caption was like, the Titanic adding kills to it like 100 years later.
Oh, I think I saw
that
that.
blew
one,
up.
bro.
That blew
Yeah.
up.
So
And
funny.
that blew up because well, for one, I think it was also like a topic that was currently happening. Obviously, that's how things like gain attention also. But it was also like the time I posted it, like how, because I opened my account to public. You can also like have there's two I think you're familiar with it. Like there's two like little subgenres of public accounts. There's a business one and a creator one. I like switched it to creator tab, and then I posted it, and it got it got 2 million views, like 200,000 likes, like just in like not even like the first like 2 hours.
Right, right.
And I've you know like
No way.
you know like people that you look up to on the like.
Wait, what'd you say the number was? 2 million?
2 million, 2.2 million.
Oh shit.
That was sick. That was
Congrats.
awesome. I've never had that before. But
Wow.
basically, like people that like I would follow as a kid, like that, even they saw that and liked it, and that made me feel like amazing.
Wow.
Because even like your idols. Okay, the thing is, the crazy part about these little handheld like media like sites like Instagram and TikTok is that you can get really successful and nothing will change. Like it won't transform into anything else like most of the time. Sure, you get followers off of it, like some, but the average person is not gonna scroll on something, like look through your account. Oh, that was funny, so I'm gonna look through your account, follow it, look through everything else. They're not gonna do that. So what, like, you just kind of to keep thinking in the mindset of just like you just gotta keep like posting things that, like see what gains attention, what doesn't, and just keep going in that direction. So
that's actually super important.
Yeah, and the reason why I'm even doing that again, because I neglected that for like a while, is that, for example, Lil Nas X, for example, like you see, like before, like I don't know if you guys were familiar with this, but I remember following like Lil Nas X, like before the Old Town Road stuff. He was just posting like little like stupid memes on like Twitter and stuff, and then he like posted his song, and then it just blew up because of like, he already had like a little following, like a little meme Twitter account following, and it like look, you know how big he is now, especially like with the whole, like
was that the source? Was that where it came from?
Yeah, he was just he was a little Twitter nerd, bro.
Yeah, it was the inciting incident.
Yeah,
No way. That's
the Old
actually
Town
sick.
Road. It blew up. He got a thing with Billy Ray Cyrus that also blew up. He turned gay is what people were saying, and that blew up too.
Do you think he's actually gay? Did you see Speed's live stream with him?
Speed live stream alone? Oh, I did.
Yeah.
Because
he's like, yo, like I was at the club with some hoes, and then
gay,
Speed was
bro.
like, so like, you want to kiss me? And he's like,
bro, I'm not gay,
bro.
bro.
I'm not. Yeah, he's like,
funny.
bro, I'm not.
I honestly, I don't know, but I feel like doing that for, obviously, we don't really understand how far like people high up will go.
Far.
They will go far. But we don't know. We're not in there, so we don't know. Like, like, for example, for him to be like gay and do all this. Like,
Yo, it's an obvious playbook. Aiden Ross played it out, and then the industry will just copy it.
But that's like different. That's just like jokes though, because he's Lil Nas is playing it out like he's actually gay on and off. Aiden Ross is just joking, because like
think
he's
about
pretending to be like that, and then he hangs out with Andrew.
you know how everybody talks about sorry, not everybody. You know how the media has a very big push to being like left wing. Like I don't want to sound like that guy, but you know how there's a lot of influences for mainstream media to be very progressive and include a lot of like LGBTQ representation. So I think when it comes to that, making artists more fluid is a big prerogative within entertainment industries. So it's not necessarily a matter of, I'm gonna say I'm gay for attention. That sounds less industry and more like YouTube, because it's not very sophisticated. However, you probably see this across many artists. I think it wasn't taken like I think about Dua Lipa, for example. Like I can't really pinpoint something. I don't say something wrong because I don't watch that much, but would it be correct to say that like a lot of these female artists are like, you've always seen tomboy artists, but like they're much more like they're just much more fluid. They're just much more fluid.
Like, you think female artists have been more fluid?
You're talking about
Yes.
like them
Within pop, not hip hop.
I don't know how to explain it without being a little misogynistic. Like, I guess more. For example, like, you know that song that's like I buy my own flowers or whatever. Do you know that song?
I know what you're saying.
I can buy
That's what
my
I'm
own
talking about. That's what I'm
Right.
talking about.
Yeah.
Like, they're more.
Yes.
But what is
independent?
But what is
and
Dua
all that.
Lipa's biggest song? It's dun
Levitating?
If you, yeah, levitating
Dun,
is
dun,
a
dun,
completely
dun,
levitating is like a
dun.
genderless song.
Yeah, man. Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I don't think that trend really exists in that regard. Like,
I don't know.
like, I mean, for that, it's because Dua Lipa is not like brand centric. Like she just makes good songs.
Dua Lipa is one of the biggest artists.
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying like yeah, she's one of the
time.
biggest artists, but like she's not like branded as anything. Like it's
That's the point I'm making.
It's Dua Lipa.
That's the point I'm making, though.
That's for sure.
Oh, you're saying like it's
unlike
more
Cardi,
fluid
she's
in that
fluid.
sense.
Like unlike
I don't think that's. But like yeah, I think he's just about to say Cardi B. Like
Cardi
I don't
B.
think it's.
That's
I don't
hip
think
hop.
it's.
Cardi B. Cardi
those
B is
songs
that's
came
hip
out,
hop
though,
though.
like everyone.
No, but
right wing people were on their ass.
But I don't think like it's a trend amongst just female artists that like they have to
I'm
be
just
more
including female
general.
artists in it.
I know.
It's not that they have to be.
I'm saying like I would say like most artists like I think just like most any artist to make a successful song would just tend to be more general anyway.
For example, like you know how like Drake released like recently has been like released like more like
House.
club girl like music
Yeah.
that they would enjoy.
Yeah.
A
Like,
lot of house
You
stuff.
saw like what he said about it, right? Like he was like, "Oh, I make those songs specifically because I want them to be played at clubs, and where like girls are gonna be, men are gonna be. So he's, like you're just always gonna have this stuff playing everywhere.
Yeah, so that's exactly it. So that's
I
why
guess it's just really either playing it for like minor reasons like that, or just general.
So yeah, that's why I think like it's probably just like to be actually good bangers. You just have to make good music that is applicable to everybody.
I stand corrected.
So like you know like
Lil Nas X still claimed to be gay when Lil Nas X still is perceived to be gay when he's probably not.
But that's because it's more branded. Like that's like really like niche, you know. And obviously,
that's a good point.
How is it niche though?
Blew up. Like Old Town Road was big, but that was like because of like TikTok. And
Yo,
stuff.
you have to.
Old Town Road was a TikTok song at the end.
Yeah,
of the
like
day.
you have to consider everything that happens after and how somebody actually becomes a sustained high profit act. Like that's why I call it the inciting incident. That there's plenty of cases of Old Town Road that fizzled out.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
You
Like,
have a
No,
very
but that's a really good
artist.
But that's a
paired with
good that's a
very
good
convicted
point,
manager.
right? Because like in stuff like that really rely on virality to make it relevant. That's
like
why
what-
it fizzles
I
out.
feel like that's
That's not why it fizzles out. The virality is not why it fizzles out. The
No.
virality is
The
an
nature of
opportunity.
how it became viral is why it fizzles out. Because in terms of like things, as you said,
Really?
like little like
Nas
Old
X.
Town Road, like you know like, well, I mean, I would say less Old Town Road because that was not like super dependent on the extra shit, but. And you know, of course, he's an artist, so he does have like I do actually appreciate his bombastic ways and the things that he's doing.
like writing a poll on the devil.
Yeah, like what like at that point, like you know, it is to just be viral, and that's why it kind of like dies down eventually because it's because then the reason why people are thinking about it is not because of the quality of the song per se, it's because of the brand.
Because I don't know. I remember one time someone at a party was playing. She was playing like Lil Nas X. Just out
I think I know what you're
about.
talking about.
And I was so confused. I've never heard anyone who like brings everyone around. Yo, let me put on this banger and put
That's
on
such a good
Lil
point.
Nas X.
That's
I
true.
was so surprised. I was actually in awe. And then everyone was like, "It's a good song," but I'm not saying it's not. I just never heard someone put on Lil Nas X before.
But you wouldn't say that about Pitbull.
No,
Because
Mr. Worldwide.
Mr. Worldwide, Mr. 305. He
He's
makes quality.
Like that's like an established artist. Like you know,
But-
there's so many artists that aren't that big, but they are established and they're always in their like circle of like big people. Like I don't know who it is, but like for example, ASAP Rocky is not that big as you think he is. But
That's right.
look at him. He's with fucking Rihanna. now.
That's an interesting.
But he's
Someone
not that actually huge.
Yo, you really have to acknowledge though how new artists make moves relative to legacy ones because Pitbull's greatest hits, Pitbull's songs that like people like that, Pitbull's songs that more than like 100,000 people listen to were
2010.
all made before the
TikTok.
viral entertainment age.
Exactly.
So
yeah, exactly.
it's a matter of
That's-
competition now.
That's another.
So
thing.
so comparing legacy artists to new like wannabe breakouts
exactly.
is very very different.
That's what I want to get into also. Like there are two different genres of like circles now because of it. There's so for example,
Yeah.
ASAP Rocky and like Tyler Creator, they were trying to make moves in like the like streetwear and stuff like that without like the internet really.
right.
They had like a big part of the internet, but it's not like how we have it today. How easy it is.
Yeah,
like,
it's not
they
the- it's
had
not the
to
TikTok age.
grind to where they are now, and because of that, there's like established artists that hang out with like people like Pitbull and stuff like that, and then there's like a whole like a block of TikTok people, TikTok artists, I guess you can say, that hang out with other people. So they don't really intermingle at all, unless I think the only acceptable like exception would be Lil Nas X, because I feel like he like floats between the two because he is the industry.
Yeah, he is a sensation.
He is the industry, so I feel like he can like flock in and out. A lot of other people like that can too. Dua Lipa is also
Dua
Dua
Lipa is actually probably the most sophisticated example of this.
That's a perfect example because he can just fizzle in both sides.
She's industry legit.
Lizzo
I mean,
also too. Shout out to her drama recently.
oh yeah.
Well, I mean, like, but that just gives more credence to like you
You're
just
right,
have to
yeah.
make
You're
quality.
right about Lizzo too.
Yeah.
You just
It's
have to
have
make.
the right people around you too, though, because
No, so it's more about having the right people around
Yeah.
you.
No,
because-
but what I mean is like they don't like when you produce your music, like
Feel
you're not like.
it's
I think
feel
it's-
good like sounds, I guess.
Well, I would just say like they're not trying to evoke a certain like opinion on you.
Mhm.
Like they're not pushing a brand onto you when they have their music. Like it's their music. It's just their art. Like if you look at Tyler the Creator, his incredibly successful career in the past few years, like he doesn't focus on being, like he doesn't focus on like being like trendy or trying to be.
No, he's just completely like himself. Like,
Yeah, he's
his
just
emotions
expressing
are in his
himself.
music.
Yeah, exactly. He's really just making art, which is, I mean, like
And
of course.
he's successful, but he's not like at. He is with those like established artists, but he's still not. Like,
there's
it's
an
the same thing
interesting-
with ASAP Rocky. He's not that
Wow.
successful.
There's a really interesting correlation here, though, is that
But-
any large, any headliner artist, and we're talking like pop industry
Mhm.
headliner, like the flagship, as in not Tyler and ASAP, but Lizzo, Dua Lipa, Drake. Like, if you're like, I would say that it's just a completely naive to ever talk about their music in any way that considers their positioning with it. Their positioning is very simple. Manufacture it for popularity, and to not piss off the owners of the label. Like that's
Yeah.
about it.
Mm.
Whereas
Especially Dua Lipa.
with the
Especially-
correlation, continuing with the correlation, whereas as soon as you were talking about how Tyler's music is much more artistic, same thing with ASAP, right away you get the correlation that they are not flagship.
I would disagree. I would say Tyler's pretty flagship, man. He's
Look
really
at the
up there.
numbers.
Yeah, he's like top. Like his Igor was like #1 for a long time.
It was #1 for a long time, but
Igor
I
was
feel
really
that's
poppin'.
because-
They don't have the commercial success even close
I mean, it
to
was
these
huge.
pop artists,
Yeah.
though. In
Yeah, but
terms
you can
of
say that with
terms of converting money.
But I
so
think
many
that's,
artists.
like-
you could not say that
'Cause
about
Igor came out
the
in a time where we were all like Instagram was pretty heavy on like TikTok was out at the time of Igor, for example.
Yeah.
There's a lot of songs that trended because of that, and it's a good album, like of course, but
yeah.
it still was like heavily. Like a lot of people got it from because there's a lot of new fans from Igor itself. Is like another thing that, like obviously I've seen, so I feel like the internet like did a really big part of that.
I don't
with
know.
Igor.
I don't know what's the. I'm trying to think of like what's the correlation between all these super successful artists. Obviously, they optimize for like
Yeah, they
popularity,
changed.
but,
It's
like,
just
what is
ex-
it?
Exactly.
it's extreme commercial sophistication. That's why I always say.
But like,
it
what
takes a-
is the sophistication? Like, you look at Drake,
It
and
means
like,
it means
he's
that there
incredibly
is. I will explain
popular.
what it is. It means that there is a collective of thousands of people with hundreds of years of experience within the industry who have been around since the very beginning and shaped it, who are then putting all of their knowledge and effort into making that one piece of 40 to 1 hour to become extremely commercially successful, compared to artists who are, one team or maybe a team of like 3 managers. Again, when I'm talking about sophisticated commercial efforts, I am talking about over
I'm
a
talking
thousand
about like
people
what's the
collectively.
actual, what's the actual like thing though? Like, what's the actual?
It's not one thing. It's their collective effort, knowledge, profit incentive.
What are
and
those?
Everyone's
thousands
in it. Like
of
everyone's
hundreds of years of doing it right and shaping the industry.
No, but like, what is the exact strategy?
Um,
What's the exact strategy?
it changes by the second,
It could be anything.
and these thousands of people
'Cause
are
for
there.
But there
and have
has
the
to be
pulse of the industries.
principle. If there's knowledge is sufficient across time, then there's obviously
For
a
example,
trend.
like
I'm sure there's principle, but I think that's that. So honestly,
I'm
so
just
of course
asking.
I don't
Like,
really
I just want to know
right,
like
but
what makes
so
these guys
I
super
just,
popular.
I just
like
my,
of course,
what
there's a
I think
huge
I think the
team.
nuance take I have here is that the reason, the differentiation, is the extra things that go on top of the principle. Because of course everybody will take out the basic principles playbook and play on it. The differentiation is having the like more pickaxing away at making it go just a bit further than the competition. And,
Okay.
and because when it comes to principles, I genuinely can't name them out. I don't know. It's not my
But I
industry.
agree with you. Like
but I'm saying
Tyler
that-
definitely is just making it. For
but I'm saying
art,
that
and the other people
all
are
these
making it for
all these TikTokers
success.
can go and look at what are kind of like the few things that they need to go, and they're making music that should be commercially successful. Why is it not? Because they're not out competing people who just have more fucking heads going to putting out the principles and going to make it like imagine your album has like 10 account managers on it looking at how the plays change based on hourly trends on Instagram. Like imagine you actually have somebody, a human being, who sat there and got an email from another human being who said, hey, this Instagram trend has like 1 million people on, has not even 1 million, has 100,000 people on it. Check, have the plays gone up? And then over time it went up to 120. Even when it went up to 220,000 views on the Instagram trend, did the plays go up? And then they just correlated. And you have people managing this on like an hourly basis. That's what it means to have your fingers on the pulse of the industry. And that's what it means to have, like, when there's so many more heads that have an incentive in your success rather than just you and your collective of managers. When it's like, publicly traded companies have an incentive in your success, then of course there's just so much more like wind pushing you to success. Even if they're playing off of the same principles. Because it's like, for example, look at somebody like Duchenne. Of course he also puts commercial principles into his albums. He's talked about this into his singles. But nonetheless, even if he worked on it 24/7, like that's not people's pension funds at risk.
Yeah.
It risks like the virality thing that we talked about too. Like, because he can do it by himself by just posting on TikTok, but then after that fizzles out, then what happens?
But
That's right.
I think like the sophistication definitely plays out because like you can focus on mostly trying to make the art, and you can still make something that's still true to your character while also having immense sophistication trying to propel your commercial
Same thing
success.
with like
And you probably see this with like Tyler, for example.
Yeah, he's probably like. Well, I mean, I don't know. I wonder how
just-
big his team is.
Tyler just does shit.
But it's not even a matter. It's not even a matter of how
Stupid
big his production team is.
he-
It's a matter of is a record label releasing his music because then as soon as they have an incentive in it, no matter what he brings
They're
in terms
not
of
gonna
his
let
art,
it- they're
they
not
will
gonna-
make sure.
Yeah, they're not
right?
gonna let it fizzle out.
Right. They'll say, this song, this is not gonna do well. He'd be like, fuck, I put all my energy into this song. Like, I love that song. They're like,
But I think he's
okay, well,
also-
change this part.
This is also like definitely back then, but I think, I'm familiar with how how he came up to be. Like, he had a manager that was like with a record label. I don't remember which one it was. That took basically him and his group of people, Odd Future in, and then they basically just took a chance because they understood that they had because in the first place, like, they had a following before he was even with any record label. I think he just took a chance. It came out. They did everything they could to make sure like it had the best release possible, and it just kept getting numbers after that. So I think like with a following, you can just almost do whatever you want in a way. Because people liked them for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like it wasn't just the music. Also like even outside the music, they just liked them for them.
And that is the advantage. I think that the record labels are actually plagued by this problem. I mean, I don't know if anybody else. Actually, no, this was not like a 6plus thing, but it was on an Instagram account about the music industry, and they were basically showing the reports of this idea within the industry right now that they're kind of depressed because they're not able to break artists. Like, they can't really figure it out. And I think like a part of that is that they're always looking for people who already have a proven following. Relative to before when it was it was more about taking a chance on talent.
Yeah.
And so that is, you know, the entrepreneur's advantage. This is why I really love Eric. Like I've always, even like this year, like starting my business, like I've always looked at the YouTuber Eric. That's probably like the number one guy that I go
Who's
to.
that?
Eric is a YouTuber who got 1 million followers in 1 year, and he completely dedicated himself to it, and he had a very sophisticated understanding of the YouTube industry.
Algorithm, right?
But the algorithm is included in the YouTube industry. But his only real knowledge of it was that for like about a year he ran like a wedding video production company, but except for that, like he's 22 years old, he just dropped out of college, and basically like he was in a very sophisticated but also extremely fearless. Like yes, he knew, he investigated a lot. Like for example, he basically like he was able to link up with people like Logan Paul, despite having, like I remember watching his YouTube video like 3 years ago and being like what the fuck, this is so sick. And then I look at the follower count. He's like literally has like 3,000 followers. Like I'm being genuinely serious. Like I remember watching him when he had 15,000 followers, and the YouTube video literally had like Logan Paul talking to him in it. And I'm like, how the fuck is like this is like Mr. Beast style videos. And though he had, you know, extreme investigative work in like finding a way to like make these people collaborate with him, at the same time there was extreme fearlessness, like, and he got sued for like a lot of money for some of the stuff he did. He was putting it all on the line essentially.
Yeah. That's sick.
If you have to get sued though, you must be doing something wrong.
What's that?
Like, why would you get sued?
Well, the reason he got sued is because he got sued by Dan Bilzerian because he sneaked into Dan Bilzerian's house and shot a YouTube video
Okay.
of him sneaking into Dan
Well, that's
Bilzerian's
different, that's
party.
different. I thought he was doing something like outright like I don't know, like career ending. No, okay, that's fire.
Well,
That's
they sued
fearless.
him
That's
and
fearless.
entering
Well, they
his
sued him
career.
for $100,000, and
Yes.
and he didn't have any money. Then he also he took out a loan for $17,000 to do another YouTube video, and he was also still completely broke. But that YouTube video went into like a 5-part series, which included heavily like Logan Paul in it and some other big names.
Yeah, that's fearlessness.
And he was sophisticated enough to basically support his major risk enough to make it, to force it to play out. He did not, you know, make the risk as I did, make the risk and then proceed to essentially like go into a little corner and not have conviction in it.
That's sick.
And so he's kind of the guy I go
No, but
to.
that's the
Because when you look at his journey, it's like now he has 10 million followers. Like
Really?
he
God
fucking
damn.
put that shit into
He
existence.
did.
But
he did the work though. That's
super important though.
He
Like
did
that
the
that
work.
sophistication is like you have to just deliberate and then
Yeah.
organize.
Sophistication, conviction, fearlessness, lack of
Yeah.
doubt, or not paying attention to doubt.
I think it starts with you have to start with fearlessness, then sophistication,
That's what
then
gets
conviction.
People, that's what gets people like exactly right there. Is because if they think that they have to know everything before that, so then they just miss the whole fearlessness because they have to know everything. So when they
Yes.
just keep thinking that, so they just don't get anything done. After
No, that's actually super important because like you're so right. Like you can overanalyze things and think you're making progress, but inevitably you're just super scared
Exactly.
and you never make anything for it. So that's actually a really good connection, and that's the point. Like you have to be able to like you have to have a sense of urgency because of your awareness and also your fearlessness to perform while also maintaining sophisticated systems and then executing it perfectly. Or not even perfectly, because obviously luck plays into it. And I'm sure there was times where like Eric failed, but like
And he talks about this, yeah.
yeah, of course. But like you just have to have just enough sophistication so that if you do fail, you can still get back up.
I disagree. I think it's the conviction now.
No, I mean like you just no.
So yes,
no,
you have to risk manage.
Yeah, well, obviously, but like you know, in this respect, like you have to be sophisticated to the point where like it's almost as if like you don't have to cover all your bases, but you're just aware of like what could happen, or rather, you're sophisticated enough to be able to react.
What's the point of being aware if you don't cover the base?
Mm,
Isn't that inactionable
I mean-
knowledge, or not taking action on knowledge? Why would you have that knowledge?
yeah, like that's just a risk, but again, like as Shemar just said, like you know if you take too long trying to make sure you prepared for all of them, then you're
you
kind
won't
of
go through any of the steps at all.
yes. So you do have to take risk. You do have to take a risk and not being able to cover all your bases. Like
I think like the most basic of basic you should understand is like how you should get out of it, I guess. Like how would you get out of this fall? Like if something bad happens.
for me,
how
it's
will you
just
get back.
yes, exactly. For me, like any risk is just a matter of me thinking, if everything goes bad, is the worst case ruining my life? If it is,
Exactly.
I'm not gonna take the risk.
Exactly.
Or I'll do anything to make sure I mitigate that risk. Because like there should be no way in hell that like something could actually ruin my life, which means something either criminal or something that puts me in forever debt. Like those two things are non-negotiables, because then like what the fuck, like it's like obviously the returns are not worth the risk. And that's the principle. Like just make a sophisticated system in terms of your risk to make sure you try to mitigate that point where you think, if this goes wrong, will it ruin my life? And you do all the things you can to avoid that. And once you do that, then you can pretty much do whatever. Like that's pretty much all the sophistication that I would require for me to want to take action. Like I'd be fearless afterwards. But obviously there are going to be points where that could be the case, and you might have to risk it all, and that would be a very interesting. So I wonder if what I deduce is that something like that requires a lot of luck for it to succeed, and frankly, it is a risk management. But there's also a lot of cases where there's probably a lot of cases that we don't see where they don't blow up, they take those risks, and they're just a little bit less sophisticated than Eric.
Most of the cases.
Yeah, and they went to jail. So I would rather not be. It's not like I'm not trying to be secure. It's just that I'm trying to up my chances. Like
That's the one thing about the internet. You just see way too much of the good and none of the
yeah. But there's a lot of ways to get incredibly successful,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of ways to gain a lot of following.
Yeah, even more than now, but that also just means more people getting that. But I guess you shouldn't let that diminish anything.
Yeah.
Just
So
because more people
What do we
is more.
want to talk about for the last
I was-
20 minutes?
I was gonna say we should go back to Shemar talking about what he wants. So in 3 years, man, like
3 years.
what do you look like? What do you feel about yourself? What are you thinking about yourself?
Oh my God!
What do you got?
Let
You
me
got
go in depth
houses?
in this, bro. I'm moving out, bro. At least an apartment
Yes,
with
sir.
a roommate. To the very least basic. I want tattoos, bro. I want piercings. You know what I'm
Oh.
saying? I can actually grow my hair out of this house. You know what I'm saying?
You wanna
What?
you wanna be like more
Light
expressive?
Yeah.
What's stopping you from doing
Bro
that right
bro
now?
wants
My
to impute regret
Christian-
onto certain
My
individuals.
Christian parents.
Mm.
That's really what it is. I just want to just look how I actually want to look.
Mm.
I can't really do that because I have church. So.
Yeah, fuck that,
I
bro. I
went
want a little
I went
apple face
today.
tat right here.
I went to church today. So.
Yeah, the teardrop and then the apple, bro.
No teardrop.
Oh
just the apple.
hell
No, like the apple looks like that. The stem part looks like
Oh,
a
it looks like teardrop. That's right.
Then you
yeah,
get the
yeah,
apple.
yeah. Like Dominic.
I don't want to be
yeah.
looking like 6'9" with these tattoos.
Dominic Fike has that.
He does.
That's how I found out about
He's
it.
a teardrop.
It's a teardrop apple.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
He makes it interesting.
Dominic Fike. I've heard that name. I don't know what he's
He makes,
associated.
like indie music.
It's
Type
from Euphoria.
shit. He's not from.
Ah, yes.
Look
He
at so
was
mad.
in Euphoria.
He was in Euphoria, guys.
He was the male love
And
interest.
He was so
Yeah.
stupid in that show. He was actually the best part.
Play
Like
guitar.
one of the best parts of the show.
I've
Fucking-
got no
I hated
place
Zendaya in that show.
building
Actually, no,
you
Zendaya was
a
not bad in
rocket
season
ship
2.
to outer
Zendaya was not bad in season 2. All right,
Oh my god.
let it be known, chat.
What?
Zendaya was not that bad in season 2. Like season 1, bro. Season 1, I hated it. Bro.
It's because she was actually like a crack.
Season 2 was fucked
cracker.
up.
No, I'm not talking
Season
about
1 was
looks. I'm, like,
sexy,
talking
season
about,
2
like,
was
how
fucked.
good like the show actually was. Like season 1 was kind of all over the place. Season 2 was good.
Oh, season 2 is really good.
It's really good.
I love
I like season 1 because of how like bombastic the visuals were.
Oh
They
yeah.
were really
Whereas
good.
to me,
That's what
season
drew
2
me.
was like it just got real. I'm like, okay, like
That's why
whatever.
it drew
like,
me.
I
Yeah,
don't really care
that's
anymore.
actually a really good
It
point.
draw me into that.
Season 1 in Euphoria was like,
Like
it was like
cinematic.
Zendaya, like it was like
her
Zendaya.
stuff. Yeah.
No, but like it gives you the same vibe, like Zendaya, like it gives you like that lifestyle vibe. But like season 2 is like
Like everyone.
You're so-
Everyone.
okay, like this is just like real drugs. now.
Yeah.
yeah.
so-
Season 2 is like
Screaming at her mom, pushing the sister
Yeah.
over, bro.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
pissing in a cup every episode.
Yeah.
You gotta make you feel. She's several shots of her crying, face up.
That was fucked up. Especially
Yeah.
the scenes where there's like no music, just silence, just acting.
Yeah.
Like I was like, fuck. Like no, it was a scene when she ran away from her mom and
That was
they were
insane.
screaming at
That's
her
my
at
best-
Casey's.
probably my favorite one.
Okay.
It was kind of like the whole episode was just her running away.
Like
It
that was crazy.
was a nice.
Yo, because you think about stuff that happens like that in real life, and I think
Yeah.
like it gave me such an eerie feeling because, like it was really realistic. Cause like when you think about people running away, like you could obviously like for me, I imagine like really bombastic, like yo, like I got like you get the fucking like the stick and the fucking like the little bag attached to the stick, the cartoon shit. Like I'm running out of here, like this is where I'm going.
Out of here, bro.
But like it was so real, like it was really like
running to her friend's house for shit. Like,
yeah, just
I was
hiding, saying
"Get
like
outta here."
yeah, like I need you to pee in my cup or whatever, and she's like I need to get, and then really screaming, and like because like it seems like to me it's like the tensions aren't overplayed, like you like the tensions are just exactly how it is in real life.
It's
No,
just
I think they're
more
underplayed.
I just think it's like more like cinematic. I guess would you say underplayed because of the consequences of it?
Because
I feel like in real life,
we're not talking because the reason behind it is the opioid addiction, and I mean if you've like my parents watched Dope Sick, like it's more fucked up there. Like you see somebody come to like one of those like drug like rehabilitation sessions, and then go into the washroom and then get offered like to be sold more opioids by the person who supposedly is running the rehabilitation session, like where you see like the doctors get addicted themselves, and then they have like the person like the sales rep who sold it to them originally like for their patients comes to like see them in the rehabilitation center, and they're like the sales rep is like no longer in that industry because they figured out that it was fucked up, and then they think that they're there just to like be kind and like catch up with the doctor and see how they're doing, and then the doctor pulls them aside and they're like, bring me more into the rehabilitation. Like it's completely fucked. Like it's just so fucked up. So yeah, that's
what
why
I really
that's why I
liked-
say it's underplayed.
Well, I mean like
You cannot. That is so hard to play out. That like, how is it to be like a family member whose like kid is addicted to opioids? Like, it just
no, but like
it
I
just
think,
completely flips
but
your
like
life upside
that's
down.
why I think it's perfect. Like it's played out really perfectly because it's almost as if like the mother is like partially trying, like it's like she just wants to focus on making sure her kid is better. Like
Sure.
like
you rarely see her do anything else in the whole shit.
yeah, like but it's not like like she's not even trying to like impose any morality on it or whatever. Like she's just like I just don't want you to die.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it's just so genuine
yeah,
that.
it just comes down to the bare.
But it's
the
also
bare
like
bones of
yeah,
what she cares about.
and it's also like she's confused and she doesn't know how to get
Yeah, she
through to
doesn't know
her.
how to
Yeah.
do
She
it.
doesn't
'Cause
understand.
Her dad died too. Like her husband died too. So it's just
Yeah.
like, she understands that's why, but she doesn't know how to help her.
Like her appearance, like the amount of times that the mother was appeared in the show, I think
Mhm.
like is probably equally how much like Rue sees her mom. And that's why I think it's so real on how she reacted, because she like
Yeah.
wasn't aware of what's going on. She wasn't like
Right.
she couldn't really tell what was going on. She was really worried, and she knew those things were kind of going on, but she just wanted to like provide for the family. So she's obviously not entirely focused on it all the time.
Right.
And so like she's trying to like I can see how like she's kind of in denial. She's trying to wrap her head around it all going at once. So like the context is not fully put in, and obviously she's trying to solve the problem right then and there. And that's why I think it's so real, because it's like it's not as high stakes as like a dramatic flair would add to it, where I would be like screaming and she'd be like fighting. She'd be like, "You need to come home right now. Like you need to do this. Like I'm dragging you out." Like she's like I'm gonna drag you out. Like but like she doesn't want to hurt her. Like she genuinely
Right.
cares. Like if we played it back, like I just remember thinking like, wow, like this is like it's like so eerie how authentic it feels.
Mhm.
And
They did a
that's
good
where I
job
like
with
it.
that
Yeah.
season.
Okay.
They did
I
a
agree
really
with
good
that.
job.
Like that little quiet undertone, relative to a
Yes,
super
that's
overly
exactly
dramatic movie.
it.
Anyways, before I talked about the Apple teardrop, Shamar was talking about his
Oh.
face tats.
Face that. That was not good face tats. bro.
So what are you doing in 3
I
years,
wanna-
man?
3 years.
Are you doing voice acting in 3 years?
I want to start. So there's so many different ways to go about it. What I've learned is that a lot of actors do actually go to acting school, and it either works out for them or it doesn't. In my opinion, though, because of how oversaturated the like business is, I don't think it's even like profitable going to acting school. Because I know a friend that goes to like voice acting school, I think it is, like specifically. She's from Hamilton, so I don't know where that is, but apparently they do that over there. So, like I don't know. I think she just did that because she wanted to like get into like a school, and that's what she wanted to do. I don't think she's actually trying to pursue that at all, because I never even heard like mention anything like that before. But whatever, to each their own. Basically, I kind of want to like do that because there's this YouTuber named Azers who does like super sick story. Like he is this random YouTuber who does like impressions on like Call of Duty and shit like that.
I know what you're talking about.
Azers, like
I don't know the guy, but I know these impressions.
yeah, like he does these impressions, right?
They're really funny.
They're
They're
really
impressive
accurate,
in terms of
scary accurate.
You always get like really impressed in terms of how scary accurate they are.
So like he like would always do like Cleveland Brown and stuff like that. And remember when they want to like during BLM, like during the protest, they want to replace, because Cleveland Brown was by this white actor this whole time, and they want to replace him with a black actor. And Azers happened to be black. He applied for that. They saw how good he was through his content, and now to this like since then to now, that's who Cleveland Brown is.
Really?
Right now, it is him.
There you go. That's that portfolio.
Oh shit.
That's awesome. So I feel like doing like more content revolving around what I want to do in the future would boost that up. Like yeah, exactly, like a portfolio like that.
Yeah.
Like just through content, like me just free putting content out.
Right.
Instead of going like doing education for stuff like that. So I really do want to pursue that, and I am trying to find trying to plan out different ways to pursue that. 5 years, I would say like I feel like in 5 years I would be in the beginning stages of like getting different roles, getting connected with a lot of different people, and like for one actually being in those like in who are those?
I don't know. Just
The youth them. They can definitely come for the end.
Yeah, but I would like
never seen them in my life.
have like my first few productions like under my belt, and then just trying to spend the whole like time getting more and more connected with different producers, different people in the industry, different directors. Like the thing about voice acting is like there's so many different like opportunities for that. Like there's video games, there's like radio art, stuff like that.
There's the guy who recorded "If you fool me once,
Shame on you.
shame on you.
So it's
Fool me can't get fooled again."
yeah.
And then there's
Fool
also
me one
XXX.
time.
Yo,
That's
I want to know what
Riot.
you feel about how do you think about AI is gonna affect that? And I don't want to scare you into going into it. I just want to know how you
I
consider
feel like
that.
it's going to take.
Bro annihilated the whole plan.
It's over. It's over.
No,
Well,
I
for
don't.
example-
No, like you can still pursue it. I'm
Yeah,
just
'cause
saying, like,
Here
what do
we
you
Because I
go
also have
with
an
the
option.
biased positive AI take that supports your whole career
Oh,
plan.
I'm not biased.
It's gonna
I'm
be.
talking about
I mean,
smart.
I'm not
It's gonna be a
positive.
thing in the
I'm
future.
I'm referencing yesterday when
Oh my-
Aaron Payne said that AI will not ever outperform coders.
I can't wait till the
No,
time
that's-
where it's
yeah.
like people are gonna be like, instead of left and right wing, it's just gonna be pro AI, non pro AI. It's just gonna-
Facts.
You're taking my jobs.
Facts.
You're taking my jobs.
Yo, facts. That's,
You think that's
actually
gonna be
such a good
left wing,
take.
right? Who do you,
Yes.
do you
No,
think the?
I think Shemar said instead of left wing, right? wing.
Instead of left.
Oh,
right, it's gonna be-
instead.
And
I guess
like,
the new
it's gonna be
problem.
that. 'Cause
Oh.
Remember Detroit Become Human, that little game of all the.
I hope that
androids?
comes true.
It's gonna be like that.
I hope that comes true. That means I've succeeded.
If you make, you could be the guy who made them,
Yeah.
bro. Oh my god.
Yo, that guy was sick.
Yeah, he was just chilling in his own house.
Yeah, he wasn't
Bro,
even a part of
shit-
it.
Like shit was happening in the back. And he
Yeah.
did it on purpose. So the whole point of that game was like make them gain consciousness to know that they're alive and overthrow humans and stuff like that. And that's like, everyone was like I guess the cops in the story, the cops came to his house and be like, "Oh, were you aware that they could become conscious?" He's like, "No, you can trust me." And he just kept like he kept having that like that he kept sticking that truth down. So he just kept talking about that.
Yeah, he was just chilling,
He
man.
was just chilling.
This
It's
guy
like-
was in his fucking
He
mansion,
was a
bro.
robe, bro. I
Yeah,
remember that. He
the
was in a
red
robe.
robe, and he like
just
knew, like he
yeah.
kind of knew. He was like trying to teach Connor. He was
Bro.
like, "Yeah, this is what's up."
Yeah.
Like
It's amazing.
I made it. I made you.
Yeah, like,
You're
back
my
to the
my
topic of AI for like voice acting. I depends how long, because I feel like The only thing is, especially with acting, you know what is how in acting, you get like one new actor that gets super successful like every like 3-5 years, and after that they're in like every movie. For example, Tom Holland was in everything after like Spider-Man. Like before that, I didn't even know who that was.
Yeah,
like, because he was basically still a new actor. The only
Mhm.
time he really was in something was when he was a kid. So he just kept. I feel like it's gonna be harder for me for sure if that does become like a reality, like a common reality for that. But I feel like the people that are already established are gonna be completely fine. I don't think they're gonna hire or like try to use ChatGPT for anything like that. Because remember how like they use.
Well, they're striking right now about that.
Ooh. Oh,
So-
that's what the strikes are.
Yeah. Well, I mean, partly.
Yeah.
Also, like unfair
Writing.
wages, but they're
Okay.
like apparently right before then. Like I think that what triggered it was like obviously unfair wages and like living standards, but
Yeah.
also like, then Hollywood was like, yo, so like,
So in the
We're gonna-
contracts, they were going to include that they could use their IP.
yes,
Mhm.
they're gonna like, yo, like we're gonna
without paying
copy
them.
your.
That's what they.
So-
you know, like disrespect. Was that Karen Fisher? Her name is.
Yeah, they were all going off.
That was disgusting. They,
Wait, what?
So, this is a common thing. Like, after an actor either passes, or it's usually when they pass.
Oh, Carrie Fisher.
Yeah, Carrie.
Oh,
Leia?
okay.
Leia?
Yeah,
Leia.
Leia, yeah.
They scan their face. They put
Yeah.
them in the production anyway.
Yeah.
Disrespectful as hell. But they should, which was so. Ooh. Oh, it's back. I think.
Oh, and now it's disconnected. Oh, it's off. We're still on audio. No, it's just audio. Here, I'll bring the We need to close the podcast anyways, but I'll bring the charger just for the last 5 minutes.
They balling up. But yeah, they just completely disrespected her like that.
What do you mean?
Well, it's not disrespectful.
What do you mean they disrespected her?
Like in a way, like if someone's dead, you write them out of the story as like usually, or you put them like out, not on screen. She was completely there acting out everything.
Yeah,
And she was
Star
there for no
Wars.
reason too. She was
In
almost
Star
there.
Wars?
Yeah, Star Wars. She was there for no reason.
Yeah, then they
it was the
killed her
Last
off.
Jedi, and then they killed her off in the next movie. She was also brought back for another movie, which is crazy to me. But
Wow.
that's interesting. But I guess like it would be like that, because they do that no matter what. Like they literally like most of these places, like if they're like really generalized in like the industry in Hollywood, like if you're making like a Hollywood movie, like they're scanning your face to do like all that.
Do you think they're gonna get away with it? You think they're gonna actually start doing that all the time?
Oh, for like everything?
Yeah. Do you think they're gonna adopt that and they're gonna move past it? Like for me, I think
I feel like they will, but I think something's gonna happen to the point to because it is your face on a production. So I think the actors are gonna get like compensated for it no matter what.
Do you see it on OBS?
Yes.
Okay.
Like
In terms of the difference here, which is the skill versus the IP.
mhm.
I think
Can
that
you see me, bro?
yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
perfect.
Do move in a little bit. You're cut off just at your shoulder. So, Shemar, you need to create value in your particular like essentially the timbre of your voice, aka your voice,
Mhm.
and you need to create
That's
value
the
in
thing.
that.
Like it's really oversaturated. A lot of people can do what I can do.
So
You know what I mean?
that's the point I'm making, is that it's not about your skill
Mhm.
as a voice actor in the traditional sense, in terms of can I tell you the timbre that you need and then you will replicate it.
Exactly.
It's a matter of people wanting to hear your
Exactly.
particular
Yes.
Oh,
voice.
It goes
like a
back, it
good-
goes
This is
back to
when
what
you-
we were
this
talking
is when
about
you
with like
talk
Lil
about-
Nas X
Mhm.
and the virality and building
Yes.
the brand.
So-
like, another thing would be like Peter Cullen, the voice of Optimus Prime. Every production that you see Optimus Prime in, he's the voice actor. Everyone around him, like they change voice actors, but it's always him playing Optimus Prime, no matter what it is.
Okay, but
Because he's that dog. You know
but a
what I'm saying?
computer
Yeah, yeah.
computer will. The thing is, a
Yeah.
computer will replace his like
Mhm.
interpretation, his vocal interpretation of Optimus Prime, and he has no leverage there because it is Optimus Prime, not him. I'm saying that you as a
Oh.
personality like I need to know that this is Shemar Simpson's voice,
Mhm.
not
Yes.
Shemar Simpson's interpretation, not Shemar Simpson playing fucking Mario.
Oh, that
It
makes
needs to be
sense.
because the thing is then it can be, then it's just a matter of how authentic is it,
Exactly.
and typically that doesn't play out that way. And even in terms of authenticity,
Mm.
like I can still make a computer can
Mhm.
accurately replace it. It's a matter of this is Shemar Simpson's voice, and that is your only legal standing
Mhm.
to protect yourself. Because then it does come to the fact: can they replicate can they legally replicate your voice and say that this is Shemar Simpson? And then you have some legal ground to work with,
Mm.
and there will be lots of other voice actors
That's
with
actually-
you on that.
yeah.
But
I
in terms
never
of
thought about that before.
being in terms of like being like a skilled worker, you're gonna get completely out competed by AI.
Mhm.
Yes,
That's a good thing to think about, though. Like a really good thing.
That's
to think about,
like
though.
we just
Yes.
like for in terms of like success of those kinds of careers, we have to just pray that the legislation like really takes a hold of it, because which is like a very impossible.
But again, you have to think about IP legislation
Or-
versus just worker rights legislation, and
Yeah.
again, like when it comes to there is the populace does not particularly care.
Yes,
From a political
exactly.
standpoint, the populace does not particularly care about whether a small subset of voice actors.
And neither
get-
neither does Hollywood. So that's
well,
where
well,
the issue
Hollywood
is.
does care. They don't want you to
No,
have
no,
that
they,
ability.
they just want the cheapest option.
Right.
anyway.
So Hollywood is against you. The
public
populace and
is
thus the
indifferent.
politicians is indifferent. Your only leverage is that people value Shemar
Yeah.
Simpson's voice. So it has to really come down to you being a personality for yourself and building up that around you, because you're talking about these breakout movie stars every once in a while,
Yeah.
and their leverage is not in their skill. They have the skill, that's a base line, but their leverage in fact is that, like, for example, Tom Holland is now, his face is valued by the
Yeah,
viewers.
like,
So even if
exactly.
they do replicate Tom Holland, even if they do computer generate Tom Holland, which they will have to pay him for that.
Exactly.
And now as a voice actor, you just have to figure out how you do that with your voice, since people can't actually see you visually. But that is also a place for innovation, which means.
But I mean, like, look
there's a
at
place for
people
disruption.
look at someone like Morgan Freeman. You know, like
Yes,
he was an actor.
There you go.
Morgan
There you
Freeman
go.
is a great
Perfect
example. In fact, you always reminded me of Morgan Freeman. Just
I
to
can
give you,
smell you.
Yeah.
just to give you some credence. But like
That's
yeah,
that's what they like. The same. The only thing I have hope for, though, because of like that whole AI thing. Like, what I keep thinking about, like, as you were talking about, is like, remember Jarvis from Iron Man?
Right.
yeah.
That same actor that became Vision was Jarvis the whole time.
But that was the point of the story.
Well, it wasn't planned like that, though. It was supposed to be someone else, but they just
Oh.
continued with him because he was already doing Jarvis, and that
Yeah.
was the voice for.
So,
Oh.
sick.
but the thing is, again, that happened
That
in
is
in a pre-generative AI supremacy age. Again, playing Jarvis,
Yeah.
the actor
I mean,
themselves
he was
have
CGI, so
have no. What's that?
he was CGI, so I guess you're right about that.
That's also yeah. But again, I'll reiterate. Playing Jarvis, the actor really, they were used because they required a human being to do it. So
Yeah.
there was no other reason to look outwards.
Mhm.
If a human being is not required, then that person has no legal connection to Jarvis.
Yeah.
So they have no real connection to the industry or money.
Yeah. My only thought was just to wonder
Let's wrap.
like if it's like my only thought is that like if you like when you're going about these things, you have to really identify what it is you're trying to achieve, because you can go about it in
Yeah.
two different ways, where the idea of you just plain and simple making sure that your brand is on par and the voice acting comes out as a side thing, then that would still work in the same case, because your brand is valued as you and an individual. However, like, you know, they don't particularly care for your voice acting,
Exactly.
and so you will have you would have a like intellectual property rights because you have a huge brand, but like your voice acting is not like the first thing that's on your mind.
Exactly.
Or you make it by
Especially
becoming
with the 5-year thing, I would have still continued with my field as social worker.
Right.
Like probably like whistling a way around that type of like
Yeah, yeah.
realm, and do that to see how far I can get, and if it actually goes far in that point, I will
Mhm.
ditch this social worker thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You want to
Yeah.
make the transition.
You wanna make
it's a little smooth,
Alright.
slow transition.
I mean, I would say
Yep.
I'd say if you identify something that you want to do, you should spend as much time as you can trying to do it, because stability is something that you can pretty much guarantee for yourself no matter what you do. If you just put like, you know, if you just like give it enough time. because you have to survive anyway. Like it's either you die or you find stability. So stability is a given. So just try to make sure that you do something you actually care about. You know, if you don't care about social work, don't do social work. Just because you might feel compelled, and I'm not saying you do. Like maybe you do love it. Like I don't know. But in terms of like everything, like if you're compelled to do it because of like just because it's like lucrative and whatnot, at the end of the day, like someone is gonna compete with you, and that's their one passion.
Yeah.
And so if you want to be the best at that, then you will have a hard time being the best if you're going at it just to make sure that you kind of survive, and they're going at it because it's existential for them. Like for me with computer science, like I'm doing it because it's existential to me, so I'll give it my all. But some people do it because they think it'll make them rich, and that's why I'm out competing them.
That's not how the job market works. Everybody works for stability and money.
Yeah, if your goal is stability and money, but like, you don't need to look at the nuances, man. Yeah, of course.
I just feel like what you're saying is like very wrong. Like
Well,
not from like a nuanced standpoint.
No, well, I'll disagree then.
Because in some
okay, let me finish what I want to say because yes, of course, stability, which is the idea for most people, if that's what they want to do, then yes, they'll be able to achieve that.
Right.
Because, which is what I said, you'll be able to achieve that because stability is a given. You have to survive. But if your goal is to supersede that, and it's so that you could become the best at something, then if you're competing just because you're trying to do something out of stability, you're not going to be able to beat somebody who's doing it solely for the purpose of giving them their existential satisfaction.
I thought you were implying that everybody needs to pursue what is completely to their purpose.
No. I'm saying that I'm saying that in order to compete, to be the best at something, you have to be doing something that you actually want to be the best at.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Anyways.
That's the motive.
Oh. Stop playing with him.
Type shit.
We'll see you guys later.
Bye-bye.
See you at the next motive. Bye-bye.